He puts it in! 0 seconds remaining! He seems to be playing hard for it. Oh my goodness! Rudy, what is this?
Doesn't get the touch he's looking for. Kato! Scott! Oh, he gets the flick and he gets it through!
Place this he's gonna get the shot! He's gonna put it in! Back to back! On the backward, can he find the touch? He's gonna put the shot on the net!
High off the backboard here. Opportunity! Here comes the shot!
Is this serious? Now, hold on. Surely this can't. Oh my lord!
Go with the shot. It's gonna go in.
Oh, open say on the goal line. He did not
Nearly over!
sweep. It comes through. The venom, the improbable, the impossible. The 4-time champions.
How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to the Nemesis Gaming League. I'm your very best friend, Gallium, and I am here joined by the man, the myth, the legend, Chunkalate. How are you doing, man?
Doing great. Happy to cast again with you, like we did on Monday.
Yeah, that was an amazing cast. You know, I had a lot of fun, and let's keep the party going a little bit, Chunk. We have a rival league matchup. You know, we're taking a little bit of a step up from last time, and I'm excited about this matchup, Chunk. Anything you can tell us about both these teams?
Well, Thunderbirds are coming off a Game 5 loss against Knights, but they got 2 wins last week, and Milky got Player of the Week, so don't count them out. And on the other side, we have the great legends, and they beat the Pineapples.
Wow.
And that would be, yeah, they beat the Pineapples, the Mafiosos, with the Juicy Leaf Lane and Xeroxa. incredible win to come off. Got great momentum going into this game, I'd say.
Yeah, I would agree with you, Chunk. As you know, the Pineapples easily in my top 3 in Rivals, so it's very surprising that they beat them. And whether or not you think is kind of a fluke because Flip was there or not, it's still an impressive win regardless. Because I feel like Pineapples are very good top to bottom. But regardless of all of that, all right, we have an insane matchup going. We have streamer Crip potentially taking the field. The Thunderbirds were on stream, I want to say like a week ago, but Crip unfortunately was streaming that game, so he gets to finally play with this team, hopefully, and hopefully they don't have another local sub up, even though he did win. It'd be nice to have see the Thunderbirds' true power here against this powerhouse of mafiosos.
Yeah, 100%. You don't want to be subbing up your players every week, especially when it comes playoff time, since you cannot sub up your players in those playoff games. So it is important to get that team chem in that regular season.
Yeah, I mean, unless you want to play local in playoffs. I don't know if that's like a rule that you can't like sub up in playoffs, but regardless, we have everyone in the lobby in Chunklight. I mean, you're the Prophet Chunklight. Everyone knows you as Prophet Chunklight, even though I just made that up. Who you got taking this series?
I like the mafiosos here. I think they're coming off that momentum, like you said. I think that great momentum they had. They may have been missing one of their players, so I feel like everyone's got their whole roster today. We're gonna see the full strength, so I would say Mafioso's 3-1 in my prediction.
You know what? That's not a bad prediction, but I'm gonna actually go the other way. Obviously I haven't seen Crip play recently, but Milky's been playing out of his mind, and I will say Arc B-Ball, one of my favorite to watch. He doesn't wow you with his mechanics, but he just is such a solid player and a very deadly shooter, as we might see one here. A nice pass to Milky. Milky, 0 boost, unable to grab that one. Juicy Leaf rocking the Dominus today, and Crip is rocking. What is that? I have no clue what car that is, Chunk.
I'm not sure either. It kind of looks like the Back to the Future mobile, but I am not sure. I'm not familiar with cars in this game, but if it helps him win this game, all props to him.
Yeah, 100%. The cars are basically just purely cosmetic. It's whatever makes you feel good. It's Crip over to Milky. This could be dangerous. Back out to Crip, but Xeroxa and Landon gonna get a beautiful save there. Xeroxa gonna try to get it past Arc Ball. Now Juicy Leaf up with it to Xeroxa over to Landon. A nice little passing play for the Mafiosos. Sands is probably really proud of this squad because Mafiosos haven't really, in my experience, haven't been near the top of Rival in a minute. And I feel like they could get to that point if they win today and just keep on winning, because this is a very good roster. I looked at the players and I was like, wait, how have they been losing games? Because Juicy Leaf is nuts, Landon's nuts, and even though I'm unfamiliar with Xeroxa, he's been playing very well this season. So, I'm just excited to see both rosters really having full strength, going back and forth as Landon gonna get a nice save, his first of the match. Oh my goodness, almost a double tap, but he cannot find the back of the net. Landon gonna turn on this one. He's gonna 50 out Crip, and Crip is gonna win that one. Milky gets 50, but it's over to Arc Ball, who's gonna send it down the pitch, and Milky is going to be there to recover it. The ball's popped up. Xeroxa has some time. He's going to use his boost and not be able to make contact with that one. Arc Ball going to be up with it. He's unable to shoot it on target. And both these teams, it's halfway through this match, and both these teams have 3 shots apiece. It's not a very high offense game, and it's still scoreless here, Chunklight. What does a team have to do to break through?
So far, it's been a battle of the midfields, I'd say, with little shots coming out. I like the passing play that this Mafiosos team had earlier. If they could do that and maybe strike a little quicker than they did in the first one, I think that could lead to great opportunities for the Mafiosos to take this game.
And I feel like we've seen on stream, or I have personally, a lot of teams who are very good in the offensive zone, just like doing everything right, but just can't put it in the back of the net. And I feel like those teams are the most frustrating to watch. I love everyone in Nemesis, but those teams really just frustrate me, because it's like all you need to do is slot it in the back of the net, but unfortunately they cannot. And both these teams are You know what? They're generating chances, but I wouldn't call them grade A chances right now. So they're both going back and forth, maybe getting those stream jitters off as Roxa gives it to Milky. Milky now with the ball, has to get past Juicy Leaf and almost does. Crip now shooting it bottom left. He can't double that one. Arc Ball now sends it high. Juicy Leaf gonna retrieve that one, and Milky sends it back to Crip, who gets cut by Zoroxa. Now the ball's floating above the Thunderbird's net. Juicy Leaf gonna pop it high, and Crip easily getting that one. Landon, last one back. He's gonna have to defend, and he does well, but Milky is gonna shoot that one. What a save by Juicy Leaf. Just barely got to that one.
Yeah, 100%. It looked like they may have broke this standstill game we have right there with that shot, but we still are at 0-0. Very passive game so far. I'd like to see more of these teams work together.
You know, Chunk, they just don't have the Chunk and Galleon connection. You know, we work together like berries and cream. As, you know, we have almost 30 seconds left in this match, and neither team can really find a goal. Zoroxa and the Mafiosos playing exceptional defense, but they're going to have to get a shot on target at least, as here comes one. Arc, a great save of his own. Defensive masterclass from both sides. Arc gonna hopefully take this ball, but Milky gonna get 50 out by his own teammate. Zoroxa can't find it, gets a decent 50. Now Milky, off the ceiling it goes. Juicy Leaf gonna leave it for Landon. Landon with 10 seconds left. Can he get another? Maybe a bump. Arc gonna send it out. Can someone make contact? Zoroxa off the backboard. Milky's up. He gets a nice touch. Can anyone find the shot? Landon, it goes past him. Now the ball's floating towards the Mafioso's end, and it's gonna drop. And we have overtime. And Chunk, I know we haven't seen a whole lot of offense here, but I mean, is there any team do you think that's going to break through?
I've seen a lot of these shots come close on the side of Thunderbirds. They've gotten like to the point where it's a 1v1. As an own goal comes out, and Crip will get the goal credit on this one. Just a missed play by Landon here, as he unfortunately will own goal, which will cost him a lot early on the series, but nothing they can't come back from.
You know, as great of a player as Landon is, you know, this is just a lesson to everyone. You know, no matter how good you are, everyone makes mistakes, and especially in Rocket League, and especially on stream, as a big one going to cost the Mafiosos there. Thunderbirds up 1-0, and honestly, I felt like they were the better team overall. They definitely had more chances. It felt like they were going to score multiple times. It was just the Mafiosos' defense was just keeping them alive. Zoroxa had a great defensive performance. He had 3 saves. So I'm just looking for more offense from Mafiosos. You can't sit back, you know, idly and let the Thunderbirds do what they want, because, I mean, that tandem, they're great at just pounding the net and hopefully sneaking one through. And they're going to sneak one through every game if you're just going to sit back and allow that to happen.
Yeah, one of those games where where either team really didn't get a goal. You know the game's going to end, though, when someone does find that goal, though. Just felt like it could go on forever. Just a key mistake really decided that game in Game 1. And I'd like to see if more uncharacteristic mistakes can come out, and who can capitalize from either of these teams.
Yeah, you know, it doesn't appear too much in the rival league, or sorry, in the higher leagues. It doesn't appear as much. You know, the mistakes are few and far between, because as you get up in the leagues, you're more consistent. But whoever can make the least amount of mistakes usually wins the game. As here's one, but Milky gonna save it. Crip gonna give him a friendly bump, and now Arc Ball, beautiful clear from him, backed into a corner, and he takes one through. But wait, Arc's gonna miss that touch. Landon gonna corral the ball. It's off the sidewall. Zoroxa with a shot, but another great save. Crip on the goal line, and it seems like Mafiosos just can't catch a break here.
Yeah, it looks like they have cleaned up their offensive attacks, and maybe with a big demo coming out, maybe it can clear up some counterplay for them. Get the first one on the board, and maybe they'll start coming more frequently.
You know, that would be ideal, I think, for actually both of these teams. Just wait a second, a nice bang for Arc Ball. He's gonna find the touch there. Juicy Leaf in the Fennec, gonna get demoed out by Milky. Xeroxa gonna fake out Milky. Now it's a 1v1 between Crip and Xeroxa. Landon almost there to read it, but he has 0 boost to do a whole lot. Crip sending it high. Juicy Leaf gonna be there to meet him there. Crip trying to beat out Xeroxa, gets the demo for his troubles. Arc B-Ball now gonna corral the ball, get a nice 50, and now it's Milky and Crip in a 2v1. Xeroxa, fake challenge. It works beautifully as he's now gonna have control, but Milky bumps him off. Crip now, it's in the midfield. Landon gonna send it into the back of the net, and that's gonna be the Mafioso's first goal of the game.
Beautiful counter attack here. They just caught them all up too far as Milky was in the corner and just bangs it past them. Those quick team plays are very deadly even up here in the rival league.
Yeah, if you can catch the defense lacking, I mean, why not just like absolutely send one to the back of the net? As you know what, Mafiosos get a goal from that, and they've had all the pressure so far. 3 shots to Thunderbirds and now 1 shot. So it seems like the script has finally flipped. Landon now up with it. Can Arc get to it? Landon almost found the back of the net. Arc was just a little too slow, but wait, Crip gonna send it down. Juicy Leaf has to race back for it. A little scary there. They almost just pulled a reverse on the Mafiosos.
Yeah, you don't want to get caught too far as Crip slots one down off crossbar. Like I was saying, you do not want to get caught too far up on these offensive attacks, as quick counter attacks can come from them, as Crip will just get one right through the defense of the Mafiosos, tying up the game.
That was an insane shot from Crip. You know, he hasn't really made that much ruckus in the series. He's been mainly playing on the defensive side, just trying to facilitate for his teammates as well. But you could just see the raw score as Xeroxa actually just gonna put one in the back of the net. I think there was a couple misses there.
Yeah, I saw Landon up there kind of making a ruckus. I don't know if anyone could have got back, but if anyone did, 100% I could see Landon getting a bump, redirecting the ball, making a play on it. Just hard for them, but he wasn't needed. Xeroxa just slots the ball beautifully into the bottom right of the net.
Just trying to farm points so you can get higher in fantasy. No, I don't blame you. I don't blame you. As Arc gonna take this one. I'm gonna get it past the defense, but Landon gonna stand strong. Juicy Leaf up with it with a lot of boost. Can he double this? And who are you? I'm kidding, bro. Of course he could double that.
Yeah, beautiful connection from Landon to Juicy Leaf. We saw it earlier with the quick counter attack, but Crip just can't get up to the backboard, and if there's a free backboard in rival, almost always gonna be a goal.
Yeah, Juicy Leaf, absolutely stellar player. We're seeing it now. Xeroxa gonna try to send one in the back of the net. Arc gonna barely get back to this one, and Mafioso's just dominating in this game too so far. Crip up with it, can't find a good enough touch. Juicy Leaf back the other way, gonna bang it. Milky with 0 boost. 50's out. Juicy Leaf now a shot coming out. Crip gonna save it away. Crip gonna continue this one, but he misses the ball. What I've noticed from the Thunderbirds is just a lot of misses coming from their side.
Yeah, uncharacteristic mistakes. Like we were saying earlier about the mistakes, they don't come very often, but when they do come, they make a world of difference, especially when you don't expect them to make these mistakes, and they often lead to quick goals and other opportunities for each of these teams.
You know, I love opportunities because that means a free goal for Gallium, you know. As Arcball gonna send it off the ceiling. Xeroxa gonna get absolutely smoked by Arcball, but he's gonna be slow back. Crip with a full tank of boost off the ceiling, the ball goes, but Juicy Leaf gonna corral that one, and he gets exploded for his troubles. And Xeroxa explodes Milky right back. Xeroxa with a nice pass. Landon can't find the touch he needed, and now there's only one player back. Xeroxa has to beat this entire Thunderbirds team, and he's successful. Milky now gonna corral this one. Xeroxa gonna 50 him out, and now Crip sends it over. Landon gonna get a nice touch. Can he find the demo? Wait, a little bit of some raids happening in front of the net there. Both sides can't find the touch. Landon sending it down. Juicy Leap, can he double this one? He does, but not on target, and I almost thought he had that one. It was a little scary, but Landon gonna send it to the side. Crip, can he get the demo? No, just barely off. The Thunderbirds are relying on these demos to hopefully get a goal. He shoots it low. Xeroxa, amazing save coming out from him. Very heads up play. Milky now with one. Gonna get a second, maybe a demo. Arc ball. Can't find the back of the net. Crip now cannot get the double, and now it's Milky's turn. But wait a second, he gives the Mafiosos another free goal.
Yeah, it's getting to that end of the game point where you need to send the house. He just got caught with no boost, and Zaraxa able to capitalize and most likely put away this game to tie up the series.
Massive play, and a very big blunder from this Thunderbirds team. I know we mentioned it at the beginning of this game too, but you know, whoever makes the least amount of mistakes is going to win. And it seems as though the Mafiosos, I don't think I saw a single mistake from them. They just looked flawless. They executed their game plan to perfection. They just started playing their way. You know, they didn't conform to the Thunderbirds. They weren't, you know, sitting on their heels. They just started to play their game, which I think is very heavily, it's a lot of bang ball from the Mafiosos. They just try to get in the Thunderbirds zone and make something happen with it. And, you know, if you can make it work, it seems to work for this Mafioso squad, as Juicy Leaf with 1 goal, 2 assists, and 3 saves. He had himself an absolute performance.
Yeah, 100%. 2 of these members on the Mafiosos are top 5 in saves in the rival league, so expect them to be saving every ball that comes their way on that stat sheet. But I like the great team plays that the Mafiosos had. It really looked like they cleaned up their offense and got great opportunities that they just capitalized on.
Yeah, you know, and capitalizing on opportunities is the name of the game, right? Because you have to take those any way you can get them, because they could potentially win you games. And I mean, the Mafiosos, I don't think they really needed 1 or 2 of those, because they won pretty comfortably, as we have a little bit of some confusion in the lobby right now. But while we have a second here, Chunk Light, I know the Thunderbirds looked really good in game 1, but game 2 seems like they kind of lost their stride. Any words of advice for this Thunderbirds team, who seems to be really struggling in the offensive half?
I saw some demo plays come out on them. I would like to see them try to go for demo plays, maybe clear up the field. Because all these shots, when they shoot, almost always there is only one last back. You get rid of that man, open net.
As you know, Thunderbirds have been trying to go for some demos, especially towards the last half of that game too. So we'll see if they make that more of their game plan this time. As Arc gonna send it in the midfield, Juicy Leaf with 60 boost. He's gonna go up with it, flip reset, gets it in the back of the net, and Juicy Leaf, another insane goal.
Yeah, what a shot from Juicy Leaf. Had a great opportunity, got the flip reset with 0 boost. They had Crip last back, couldn't make a play on it. Absolutely phenomenal shot coming from Juicy Leaf.
Yeah, and you know, one player who doesn't have any stream nerves definitely got to be Juicy Leaf. He's made a lot of deep playoff runs, so he's used to being on stream. He's used to the pressure, and you just saw he was as cool as a cucumber there, just put it in the back of the net. But wait a second, the ball's floating dangerously, landed with a shot, and it's going to get saved away, but it's a dangerous rebound. Juicy Leaf with the freest goal of his life, and it's 2-0 Mafiosos.
He's got too early. He could be looking for that hat trick. Just some miscommunication coming out from the Thunderbirds. 2 of them commit, and the rebound by Juicy just puts it in easily to put them up 2-0 and the commanding lead in this game 3.
You know, Landon is playing such an exceptional first-man role. I don't know if that's what he was going for, but for this team, he's really getting into the Thunderbirds zone and facilitating for his squad. You just see a bunch of chances being generated from that man, and you know, he doesn't get a lot of credit, especially on the score sheet, but he's doing a lot for his team. As a pass coming out, Milky barely saving it away, and Zaraxa himself has been doing really great in this third man, but wait a second, a little bit of a blunder coming out, and this one slips in the back of the net. Milky gets one for the road.
Yeah, a lot of these saves are coming in at the very end, but the ball just sneaks through and finds a way at 13 miles per hour. Just a really slow shot, but if it goes in, it goes in, Gallia.
That should be my motto. You know, that should have been my senior quote, Chunklight. You had to say that now. Come on now. That's a little mean. As Arc Ball gonna go up with it. Arc Ball cannot find more than that. Crip now with 1 touch. He's off the ceiling, but he has no boost. Zaraxa and Landon 2v1. Arc Ball, an easy save from him. But wait a second, a little bit of miscommunication from the Mafiosos might open up a lane for the Thunderbirds. Arc Ball gonna miss his touch. Now Milky sends it over to Arc Ball. He's gonna have to turn for this. Grabs the boost. He is on the backboard. He gets 1. Can't find the bump. Juicy Leaf down to Crip. He has 0 boost. Crip, the GM of the Atrium. Can he get a goal? to even up this game 3 as Milky seems to be AFK, maybe some internet issues. I'm not sure what's happening. A 3v2. Can Mafiosos capitalize on this? It seems like they might be able to, as Landon out to Juicy Leaf. He gets a nice 50. And Arcball and Crip went from playing 3s to 2s. We'll see if they can hold for their teammate to get back, as he's still AFK. Landon off the ceiling. He gets a touch. Now Juicy Leaf with a full tank of boost versus Milky and Crip, who Milky has finally come back, but at the wrong time because Juicy Leaf puts it on his dome.
Yeah, I was talking about that hat trick since he got too early. He finds it here with another flip reset, the second flip reset of the game. Just another phenomenal goal, as he has 500 points at halfway mark in this game.
That's ridiculous. And you want to know how many points his teammates have? 84 and 48. So, you know, they have been helping out, though. Don't let that scoreboard fool you. You know, they've been doing everything they can to get Juicy Leaf opportunities to succeed, and he's succeeding as Milky yet again is AFK. He's finally back. Maybe a controller issue on his end. He gets a touch. Now Crip can't find the 50. Arcball gonna get a touch himself. It's off the backboard. Never mind. Xeroxa pre-jumped that one. Juicy Leaf with a little bit of some momentum can't find the next touch. Landon off the backboard. Can someone from the Mafiosos find the back of the net? Landon, though, with a perfect top left shot, and I just got chills.
Yeah, absolutely perfect placement. Finds a rebound after his teammate collides with Arc B-ball. And absolutely phenomenal play. I think Milky is having those Wi-Fi issues, but if the Thunderbirds want to win, he's got to step up. Getting Player of the Week last week, I think he is this catalyst to this team this season.
It seems as though the Thunderbirds are begging for mercy. They're like the French, you know, they're throwing up the white flag, but I don't think that's within the Nemesis parameters to just forfeit. So they're going to have to play this one out, you know, get some good warm-up minutes in, as Crip is going to put one in the back of the net. Maybe some life here.
Yeah, maybe if the Wi-Fi issues like cut out here, they can get back into this game. 100%. Everyone committed on that ball. Crip just gets a great 50 into the net.
Yeah, and I know Local was a part of this Thunderbirds squad last week when he was on stream. He's a very great player in his own right. I wonder if they're going to potentially think about subbing him in. I don't know if he has a match right now, but maybe something has to change for this Thunderbirds squad to find some life, as Milky sends it over. Crip can't turn for that one, and now Xeroxa and Juicy Leaf double commit, but a beautiful pinch coming out. Crip is back to get that one. It's up. Landon gonna beat out Milky, and he gets a touchdown to Juicy Leaf. Juicy Leaf off the sidewall. Can he get another? Yes, he does. And now Xeroxa racing for that one. He bumps Arcball instead of the actual ball. Landon gonna get a nice 50. Crip over to Milky, but just barely wide. And with a little over a minute left, both these teams still fighting to the bitter end, as the Thunderbirds need 2 goals to equalize this game and potentially send it to overtime.
Yeah, 100%. This in overtime here, after the big Milky disconnect through Xeroxa scores the goal. He just sneaks it by the last person. Xeroxa, just a great goal right over Milky, who backflips. I don't know if that's the Wi-Fi issues, but I think that will put it away for this game. What would you say, Gallium?
You know what, I would tend to agree. You know, seems as though the Mafiosos, I think honestly, regardless of the internet issues, they just have looked like the better team in the past 2 games. So a great, oh my goodness, almost a great shot from Arcball. But honestly, they've been putting on a show. Each member of the Mafiosos have 4 shots each, which is insane. You know, they're combining for 12 shots as a team, which is ridiculous. Now Juicy Leaf with a full tank of boost versus Crip, and you know, are we even surprised at this point? Juicy Leaf gets his 4th of the game.
Crip begging for mercy after he gets another flip reset on his head. Juicy Leaf's 3rd flip reset. He's up to 700. Absolutely phenomenal game.
You know, never have I ever seen someone beg for mercy in a Nemesis game. But you know what? Crip, you know, you're down in the history books. Oh no. Oh no. That's actually disgusting. That's actually disgusting. Chunk, I don't think I want to cast anymore. I gotta go throw up.
Yeah, there's stat padding here as I'm pretty sure ball was AFK. They'll get a cheeky, quick goal here with 10 seconds left. Let's see if they can stuff some more stats if they want it here, but I would look forward to them ending this game off so we can go on to our game 4.
Well, let's hope in this game 4 we don't have any surrendering from either side, as Mafiosos up 2-1 in the series. Very convincing game 3. I believe they might reset the servers because Milky was having some internet issues. So hopefully there's no more excuses for this Thunderbird squad, who have not really looked the best, in my opinion. I don't think they've really looked complete. Even in that game 1, they won 1-0 in overtime to kind of a little bit of an interesting goal. So I don't know. They haven't really wowed me in this game. And honestly, I thought they looked better on stream with local.
Yeah, I like the point you made with the goal in the first game. That goal came off of a mistake, and just seems like they can't get a lot of that offense. A lot of the time in the last game where they did score goals, it was just kind of a dead game at that point. I would like to see them get some important goals in the next game.
Yeah, I understand. As you know what? I think the Thunderbirds can do it. Crip hopefully just encouraging his team, trying to get them back on their feet after that tough game 3 loss. Hopefully the Thunderbirds can extend this to a game 5, but we're going to have to see, as Mafiosos and Thunderbirds almost back at it. Wait a second. You want to know who's just joined this lobby, Chunklight? Can you take a wild guess?
Is it local?
It, in fact, is local. He's subbing in for Milky with the internet issues. And now, local, he needs to be the catalyst for this Thunderbird squad. Can they get a comeback now that he's on the pitch? We're about to find out in 5 minutes. As Arcball gonna get it past one. Local with a demo and already making a difference as Arc B-Ball 22 gonna put in his first of the series.
Yeah, good kickoff going their way. Kind of fakes out Landon, and local being a great leader to this team, giving them much needed life in this series.
Yeah, an incredible goal off of a kickoff. I mean, you really needed that one. Wait a second, another one coming through, and local is on a tear.
Yeah, local really leading this team here. Another kickoff goal. We're 7 seconds in, and local has made a huge impact. 2 goals. Can this little buffer keep them ahead of this Mafioso squad that looked phenomenal last game?
Yeah. Yes, local, my favorite European. He's just absolutely spectacular at Rocket League, and I'm surprised he's in Chalice. Oh, no. Not another one. Wait, no! Crib messed up the touch. He sends it out. Local trying to get there to recover that one, and Crip, I don't know if you could complain about another server reset after that one.
Yeah, I guarantee Crip wants that one back, as they overcommitted on the side of the Mafiosos, and it looked like an easy goal with all 3 of them up, but Crip can't get the good touch to put in the ball away to give them an even greater lead.
That's heartbreaking, but not too heartbreaking, as Thunderbirds have had all the pressure so far. Can the Mafiosos come back into this one? Juicy Leaf sends it to Landon. Landon potentially with a shot. It's going to go off the backboard, but Crib misses his touch. Xeroxa gonna get the touch, but local up for it. Xeroxa trying to get a pass out mid to this Mafioso squad. Juicy Leaf off the ceiling. Landon sends it home, and we have a goal for the Mafiosos.
Big momentum swing, I feel like, came here with. They felt like they're on their back foot as local just kind of owned goals the last touch, but I think it was going in regardless. But maybe a little defensive woes for them here early, as this is their first game playing with local in the series.
Oh, 100%. Loco just wanted to get his 3rd goal participation stat. So, you know what? I don't blame him at all, as Crip is going to send it to Juicy Leaf off the backboard. Local going to take it from Arc, and now the ball's off the backboard. Arc sends it over, but Juicy Leaf's going to be there to meet him. Crip down the field. Landon gets a touch off the backboard, a very nice touch, but local has a bunch of boost, and the ball, not so much boost anymore. He's going to get a touch, not past Soroxa, as Landon sends it out, but Arc there with the shot potentially, but just barely off, and the Thunderbirds looking better and better, as a little bit of a touch going back to local. Local gets one, can't find a second, and Arc retreating back. Crip has to jump over a demo. No, Juicy Leaf down the pitch. Local Sends it up high, but wait, it's up to a Mafioso's player. Local gonna corral this one. If there's anything I know about Local, he is a very determined first man. He's gonna chase the ball pretty much the entire game, and he's one of the best at it.
Yeah, I like it is a way more offensive game than we saw in game 1. It looks like both teams are trying to slow down this game, as Sriracha will put in a great infield pass to equalize this game here, Gallium.
Wow. That is a little insane, as, you know, Juicy Leaf corrals this ball, gets a nice touch out to mid, and you know what? I just think the Juicy Leaf facilitation has just begun. You know, he has 2 assists, and I expect a lot more from Juicy Leaf, as, you know what? If he can't score, it, well, I mean, he can get assists at will, as he's been looking incredible all series long here, Chunk.
100%. All the goals feel feel like just kind of miscommunications here on the sides of Mafiosos here. Just a bunch of kickoff goals, a bunch of own goals, as Juicy Leaf will find a clear net to put in the ball and take the lead. That 2-goal buffer we were talking about seems like it may have not been enough, as Landon just gets a great demo on last there.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, but Mafiosos have scored 3 unanswered, and every single member of this Mafioso squad has a goal. So it's been a team effort to get them back in this one. But honestly, the only person I see really trying to step up or do anything is Local. I mean, he has just been the offensive-minded beast, but he can't do it all himself. So I'm looking for his teammates to really start to put on the pressure, as Sriracha gets it over to Crip, who sends it out to Local. Back to Crip, who tries to find the back of the net. Very good play coming out from them. Unfortunately, couldn't find the finish. Arc B-ball sends it out mid. Crip off the sidewall. Going to try to get another one. He does, but it's down to Landon, who sends it deep. Arc, with barely any boost, is going to be able to corral that one just barely. Got a little scared there. Juicy Leaf out to Local, who just pops it into the midfield. Sriracha gonna leave it for Landon. Landon now in the midfield. Gonna get a shot, and oh my goodness! Alley-oop of doom.
Juicy Leaf gets another off these deadly passes. This connection between Landon and Juicy Leaf has been absolutely showing stars the last couple games, Gallium.
That's incredible. That was an incredible goal, and just seems like the Mafiosos have gotten better as the series has progressed. I mean, you won't find a team as resilient as they are. I mean, they went down 2-0 in the first 10 seconds of the game, and now they've scored 4 unanswered, and there's still a minute left. As Arc gonna find a goal, and maybe the Thunderbirds can extend this series.
Yeah, a little bit of life here out. Started from a great first man from Local. Andy gets a great bump to clear up the field. Local, like you said, needs to step up as that first man. And you said his teammates to step up, my bad. But Local doing it all for his team here.
Yeah, he's done a great job, as there's no one back in net, as almost finds the back of net, but wait, the net is wide open. Crip, can he hit an open net this time? Yes, he can. Bottom left, the Thunderbirds have tied it.
Yeah, they overcommitted here in this game. I don't know about that. Normally, when I'm up one with Series Online, I like to park the bus, but I respect going for more goals. This Thunderbirds offense has looked a little stagnant, but it seems like they might be coming to life.
Yeah. You know, and it seems as though the Thunderbirds have, you know, they like to lock in at the beginning and end of each game. You know, the middle portion of the game doesn't really matter to them. As Crip has 0 boost, he's going to fall to the earth. Arc ball gets a nice bump on Landon, but it's not enough. Local gets a nice 50 on Juicy Leaf. Now Arc is going to slowly turn for this one. Going to leave it for Crip. Crip pops it high. Landon going to be the first one to get to that one. He sends it up. Going to potentially go for a demo, but Juicy Leaf going to find the touch instead. He gets one. Gets almost a second. And now Sriracha cannot find the touch pass. Crip. Arc ball tries to send in the back of the net, but wait a second. Local with the shot! And Arc with the demo. The Thunderbirds have shocked the Mafiosos.
Yeah. Got a little overcommitted the last play, and here Local, another bump. These bumps have been coming out from this Thunderbird side, and it has made their scoring more fluid. They've scored way more goals this game, and it looks like they will take this game and head us into Game 5.
Yeah, That is incredible. It seems like Local has more success in Rival than Chally. I mean, it's just incredible what he can do in the higher leagues. I mean, I listen, man. You know, if anyone from Nemesis is watching, you might need to just like let Local play for the Thunderbirds full time because he's putting in an absolute shift so far. And he's on 120 ping the entire match, you know, because he is from Europe. So, you know what? All props to him. But I gotta say, Arc on that last play of the game, he really started to impress me. He started to heat up, and that bump was very crucial into that goal scoring opportunity. It seems like Arc and Local have a very good connection, and I think that's what won them this game number 4.
100%. Those bumps came up huge for the Thunderbirds when they needed it the most. Like Arc B-Ball and Local went for them mostly, but it really cleared up the net to score some easy goals. As both of them getting 2 goals, and both of them also had 1 assist.
Whew, that's, you know what? They're just playmakers. You know, I will say Mafioso's definitely had some highlight reel goals in that game, but it doesn't matter if you don't win. It seems as though the Thunderbirds have stormed back into this one, no pun intended, and now it is game 5. Everything on the line. Mafioso's looking to get a nice win after beating one of the best teams in Rival. Thunderbirds looking to bounce back after having a rough start to the season with the Chally sub up. Who can get this game 5? We're about to find out right now as Local up with the touch. He's going to send it out, but Landon, a beautiful touch in the defensive zone. He gets it past Crip, and now Arc races for it, and he might find the back of the net, but Landon just fell on that one. He tries to flick it past Local. He does, but not the way he wants to, but a great pass to Xeroxa. Crip gets a nice touch, and it seems like Landon's demoed. No defense back, but Juicy Leaf going to race back for that one. Already chaos ensuing, and we're barely 30 seconds in. Local going to send a touch out. Maybe a pass, maybe a bump, but Crip can't find the back of the net. Arc sends it up high off the backboard. Xeroxa with no boost. Great defensive play. Local pops it to the left side. Now Arc has to be the one to corral this one. 0 boost to his name. Landon sends it down the pitch. It's in the midfield. Can anyone get a touch? Local can, and he has a bit of boost to get this one into the Mafioso zone. Crip maybe with a shot, a nice fake, but wait a second, 2 of the Mafioso's players have missed. Crip now trying to control that ball. Xeroxa gonna hit it out, and this is absolute pandemonium to start this game 5.
Yeah, 100%. Arc kind of got caught there at the end of when you're talking with 0 boost. I thought it was a great opportunity, but none was there to follow it up for the Mafiosos as they look like they're on their back feet, and it looks like a 3v0. Let's see if they can capitalize, but no. I think what we need to see from this Mafiosos is not to get stuck on your defensive half and really, as Arc will score. Like I was saying about staying on your defensive half, you do not want to be there for prolonged periods of time as you will make mistakes and eventually a ball will go through.
You know, Crip hasn't looked hit like himself since game 1, but that might be the most impactful play this entire series, and of course it comes in game 5. You know, they call him Clutch Crip with a K for a reason. Actually, I just made that up. I totally lied to you guys. I'm sorry. Anyways, Crip gonna send it out in his defensive half. Landon over to Arc B-Ball, but wait, another demo coming out. Both sides trading blows. It's about who can demo the best and who can get the best opportunities with a demo in tow. Crip sends it down the pitch. Juicy Leaf now in the midfield. Landon can't find it on target, and now he backs up. He's going to have a full tank of boost. Can he get to this one? Crip going to fake him out. Now Arc with a touch of his own. Landon going to fake him out, and now Arc can't get to that one, but Crip maybe has an open opportunity. He's going to set it off the ceiling, and what a touch from him, and oh my goodness, how did that one go to the back of the net?
Just looks like a missed touch, but it was a great setup for his team. But he gets a great follow-up and puts it in perfect place over Landon. An absolutely incredible goal. Crip has come alive in this final game to set them up too.
You know, it's true poetry. First, the Thunderbirds were complaining about the servers, and now that they're up 2-0, now the Mafiosos are complaining. So, you know what? I just think the servers are bad in general. So I think everyone's struggling at least a little bit, as Xeroxa cannot get more than that. He's going to try to find another touch, but wait, he's going to leave it actually for Juicy Leaf, who has a full tank of boost, cannot find more than that. And Crip, he's been playing out of his mind. He's regained his confidence. He went from surrendering in game 3 to now being the catalyst for this Thunderbirds offense, a complete 180. And now Landon misses his touch. Zaraxa gets 50'd out by Arc, but a beautiful 50 from Zaraxa. Local now gets a 50 out. Landon off the ceiling, but wait, Zaraxa's already there. He's gonna fake out the entire defense, and Juicy Leaf's gonna slot one.
Yeah, Juicy Leaf giving this team life like we saw in the last game. They were down 2, and they managed to put 4 in straight, but the comeback from the Thunderbirds, I'd like to see them get a couple more goals. Maybe we get a Game 5 overtime here in this great series we've had so far.
You know what? I do think this series might go into overtime. I'm not going to lie. It seems like, when we think one team has full control, the other team just says, no, I can't let you get away with this one too easily. Is Arc up with it? He's going to send it over to Local, but Juicy Leaf going to meet him first. Zaraxa with a full tank of boost gets another touch off the backboard. Landon with a nice shot, but Arc an even better save. Local with 0 boost gets 1. Cannot find the second. Juicy Leaf, great cut from him. He's going to get a 50, and it's still in the Thunderbird zone. Slides out to Landon. He has a little bit of boost to hopefully make this work, but he's not going to find the touch. Local misses his touch. Arc with a great save. He's been spectacular on the defensive end. 3 saves already, but Juicy Leaf, a nice play of his own. And now the Mafiosos are starting to cook up here. They have more shots than the Thunderbirds. It just depends on when these chances can get real deadly as Juicy Leaf up to Zaraxa, who maybe gets a shot landed with his own. A great save, and Thunderbirds are saving these shots left to right. I mean, they have 8 saves in this game 5 already, as 45 seconds now left in this game. Cripps sends it down. Landon gonna be there to corral this one. He's on the backboard. He gets a nice touch. Arc B-ball gonna fake it out for Local. The ball's off the ceiling. Can Zaraxa make it to the ball? Of course he can. Arc now gets one. Can he find a second? He does get the 50, but it's not beneficial. Juicy Leaf sends it into the midfield. Now Zaraxa down the pitch. It's off the backboard. Well, if Local was the backboard, as he's going to get a touch. Juicy Leaf gets one of his own. 20 seconds left for this Mafioso squad to find a goal to hopefully send this one in overtime. They have to send the entire army down the pitch. They have to go absolutely nuclear right here in the last 8 seconds. Landon with a full take of boost. Can he make magic happen? Flip reset. He delays, but wait a second. A great save from the Thunderbirds. Ball is still up in the air. Juicy Leaf full boost. He's going to pop it eye again. Arc, beautiful touch of his own. Landon with no boost, and the ball's going to fall. The Thunderbirds have somehow won this series.
They look dead in their rights after that Game 3, but Local comes in and makes huge momentum swing for them as they absolutely stole the series, I would say. Absolutely insane performance from both of these teams. It was great to see this go into a Game 5.
That was man, I'm sweating a little bit. That was a great series. That was a great series. It exceeded my expectations, to be honest, because both teams coming off of some big wins on I believe Monday. So you know what? I honestly, I am very satisfied with how that game ended, but we're running a little low on time. So GG's to both teams. Congratulations, obviously, to Thunderbirds. But the next matchup, we're going to my home, the Prospect League, to watch the Banshees, see if they can get a nice win here. As thank you again, Chunklay, for casting with me. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, 100%. You guys will get to see Banshees versus Vipers, I believe, which I love this new Vipers look, and it should be a good one for you all.
It should be, as you guys might want to stick around because it's going to be a good series down the stretch. Peace out, guys.
Do you remember the taxi, the backseat? You kissed me, and you kept playing Britney on repeat. It killed me. We watched The Shining 12 times. You liked when I held you tight. So why'd you let me go? It's all water under the bridge. Won't blame you for what you did. Chose you and you chose him. Water under the bridge, but I'm drowning in it. Water under the bridge, but I'm drowning in it. Have you shown him the tattoo that I drew for you? with a pen in the bathroom. At 18, we went to a sketchy tattoo parlor. We hid it from your mother. Does she still ask about me? It's so hard to run to the bridge. Friends say it's time to forgive. Chose you and you chose him. Water under the bridge, but I'm drowning in it. Water under the bridge, but I'm drowning in it. Water under the bridge, but I'm drowning in it. Sometimes I think I'm fine, but some tears just don't dry. So now when I cry, sometimes I think I'm fine, but some tears just don't dry. So now when I cry, yeah. So water under the bridge, you know that I can't swim. I chose you and you chose him. Water under the bridge, but I'm drowning in water under the bridge. Won't blame you for what you did. Chose you and you chose him. Water under the bridge, but I'm drowning in it. Water under the bridge, but I'm drowning in it. When I first heard your name, my prayers were answered like summer rain. But it was over after one touch together. But for a second, felt like forever. Just know that I've reread the page. Do you do the same? Hope we never fade if we're just ships passing the night. I hope we never see the morning light. It's crazy how the time just seems to fly. But for a moment, you and I couldn't. Haven't seen your face yet, but I know those eyes. You're like a stranger that I recognize. It flashed, it flickered, you couldn't miss it. But God, don't miss this. Just know that I'll find you every time in another life till we get it right. Guess we're just ships passing the night. I hope we never see the morning light. It's crazy how the time just seems to fly. But for a moment, you and I, we could. And for a moment, you and I, we could. I'll find you every time in another life. I find you every time in another life. In another life. Ships passing the night. I hope we never see the morning light. It's crazy how the time just seems to fly. But for a moment, you and I, we could. Ships passing the night. I hope we never see the morning light. We're always chasing time like butterflies. And for a moment, you and I
literally, he puts it in 0 seconds remaining. Maybe teams are gonna be fighting hard for it. As, oh my goodness, Rudy, what is this?
Doesn't get the touch he's looking for. Kato, Scott the oh, he gets the flick and he gets it through.
Place there's Hank. He's gonna get the shot. He's gonna put it in. Back to back. Backward. Can he find the touch? He's gonna put the shot on the net.
High off the backboard here. Opportunity. Here comes the shot.
Hold on. Surely this kick. Oh my lord.
Go with the shot. It's gonna go in.
Oh, Copenhagen on the goal line. He did not nearly over. Sweep. It comes through. The venom, the improbable, the impossible. The 4-time champions.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Nemesis Gaming League. And today we are traveling into the depths of the Prospect League to bring you one of the better matches of the night. We have the Vipers taking on the Banshees. I'm with the Chef 98. How you doing?
I'm very excited. This Prospect matchup, it's a big match for both teams. Personally, I was on Vipers to begin the season, so I know with Brindy and Brad specifically, they're great teammates to be around, so I'll see how they do with Hypnotic.
You know, only time will tell. As you know, the Vipers have been on an absolute tear. They have just been stomping teams left and right ever since they picked up Brindy the Blade and Hypnotic. I mean, LK has completely revitalized this Viper squad, who honestly at first just looked like they had no hope, and now they're one of the better teams in Prospect. In my opinion, they're number one, but you know, that's neither here nor there, as they're facing a team that needs to prove themselves on stream right now. The Banshees had a tough loss to Velocity. They lost, I believe, in game 4, and it was very tragic. They were expected to win that series, and now they're kind of on the back foot here. 3 talented players, but they just can't mesh together. We're going to find out if they can mesh together just this once to take down a very good Viper squad here, Chef.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough one for him, but it was a tough one for him last week. We saw Banshees on stream. Maybe they'll come in with the same roster, maybe not, but they did have an impressive win against the Bandits, I believe, last week when they were on stream as well. So we'll see if they can punch up again.
You know what? We will see that, Chef. As you know, I gotta ask, who you got in this matchup?
Like I said at the beginning, Brindy and Brad specifically haven't seen a ton of Hypnotic play, but I know they're strong, and I think this one, if Hypnotic is as good as I think he is, which I know he's pretty good. He's their highest MMR, I believe. I think the Vipers are going to take this one.
Yeah, I think he's like the second highest MMR player in Prospect, or maybe the first.
Oh,
yeah, he's an expensive guy. You know what? I will say, the 3 on the Vipers very good. Brad McSnackrap, obviously being the third man for this Vipers team. He is a very slept on player, and you would think since he's kind of on the lower MMR side, he'd be kind of the third man or something. No, he's probably the complete opposite. He's a very aggressive player. He will get in your face and demo you and make your life not very enjoyable, if I'm going to be completely honest. So he's got to do that against this Banshee squad, who are very mechanical, and they're here to win, as I believe LeBerry is in this match. I don't know if he might be starting here, as the Banshees seems like a different lineup every single week, but we have both teams in the lobby ready to go. Vipers versus Banshees right now, as the kickoff goes the way of the Banshees, as Vipers get a nice save. Brindy already making an impact on the defense. LeBerry up with it, sends it in the back of the net, and they have a 1-0 lead early.
Yeah, great start from the Banshees. Got the pressure on early. We see East Coast Ghost with the playmaking just like last week. Very impressed with him. And, you know, the Vipers, tough start for them, but I expect them to really lock in here and get back into this one.
You know what, lock in, it seems like in the Vipers' nature is, you know what, Banshees have surprised people in the past. They were not expected to beat the Bandits on stream, but they did it anyways. We'll see if they can punch up, as you mentioned, and beat this Vipers team, who's very good. Hypnotic with the shot. Crip gonna be there to meet him. Hypnotic, very great player in his own right, but we got to talk about East Coast Ghost, as he's been a catalyst for this Banshees offense. He's been spectacular so far this season. LeBerry's going to miss his touch. Now it's Hypnotic to Crip in the midfield. Crip cannot race back to that ball. And now it's LeBerry who's going to accidentally pass it to Hypnotic, who's going to almost slot that one in the back of the net. And, oh, man, that was close.
Yeah, it was a close one. And as I mentioned, the Vipers picking it up, locking in here on offense so far. Haven't yet found a goal, but close cut chances on the Banshees net.
You know, it's unfortunate, because if you're on the Vipers, you really want to score here, but it seems as though they're just comfortable just in the Banshee zone, getting all these chances. I mean, they already have 4 shots in this game. They're just sitting in their zone, but the Banshees are now in the Viper zone, so it's kind of flipped heads here as Brad has to race back to this one. It might go in the back of the net. It's just barely off the crossbar and out. Hypnotic now with a full tank of booze. Can he get a nice touch? He does, but Crip, very mechanical player, is going to get to it himself. Crip floating past that ball, and East Coast Ghost going to have to half flip to reach that one. He gets a touch, cannot find a second, and now he has to sit on the wall and maybe get a touch. LeBerry 50s out Brindy. Now it's floating in the Banshee zone very dangerously. Brad sends it in, but East Coast Ghost very poised with a great save. Hypnotic going to race back for that one. And Hypnotic, you know, I really like his wheels. It's like the, you know, it hypnotizes you as, wait a second, Brindy might have hypnotized the defense as he's going to put one away.
Yeah, that was nice from Brindy. Just caught the defense lacking a little bit. Able to get that pinch under East Coast Ghost. That's a great play from Brindy. He's always there to capitalize on the mistakes of their opponents.
Yeah, Brindy, what I've noticed from him is he excels by himself. You know, obviously he's a great team player. That's not what I mean. I mean, if his teammates are back getting boosts, or if one of his teammates are demoed, he could take it past all 3 members of this Banshee squad and do it all himself. And we saw that there. I mean, he really did a great play just there. But wait a second, East Coast Ghost gonna respond with a nice goal of his own.
Yep, East Coast Ghost playing the miss there. Always a good idea and prospect. Brad with a narrow miss off the back wall, and that's a great capitalization from East Coast Ghost.
Yeah, East Coast Ghost, a very great player. Seems like he's everywhere for this offense. He already has a goal and assist and 3 saves, so he is everywhere for this Banshees team, who have kind of surprised me a little bit. They're performing very well, definitely above expectations. This Viper squad is very dangerous, but East Coast Ghost going to get a nice touch. Brad going to send it away. I'm looking for Brad to really step up here. I mean, he's kind of an unknown from game to game. You don't really know what you're getting. I personally did not play against Brad, so I'm not too familiar with him, but I know he's a very good player. Hypnotic's going to send it into the corner. East Coast Ghost pinches it out, and LeBerry can't get to that one. The captain almost able to reach it, but Brindy now in a 1v2 situation. LeBerry racing back to get that one, and you know what? The Banshees, they're looking threatening.
Yeah, and honestly, I think the Vipers are playing well. It's not, I don't think it's a scenario of the Vipers kind of not quite getting into it yet. The Vipers look good, but the Banshees are just answering them at all levels of the field. And there's East Coast Ghost taking it all the way from the sidewall.
That was disgusting. Are you kidding me? East Coast Ghost gonna pinch it off of his car, send it to the backboard, and then slot it in? I mean, if you could dribble it past Brindy the Blade 25 and Hypnotic, you're one of the premier players in Prospect, and East Coast Ghost proves it there. He has 579 points with still a minute and little less than 45 seconds remaining in this game. He has 2 goals, 1 assist, 3 saves. He has been spectacular for this Banshee squad, and now they need to hold on to hopefully fend off this Vipers team.
Yeah, for sure. I'm not sure when we play against the Banshees, but for sure hope maybe East Coast goes out of the office that day. But he's looking good, especially on stream these last 2 weeks.
He is a very exceptional player. But on the other end, Vipers full of exceptional players as Crip is going to get a bang down the pitch. Going to try to follow it up. Brad, great defense from him. Very slept-on player and prospect. He's going to have to make a big difference here. LeBerry sends it towards the net. Hypnotic, great poise and a great save. Crip up with it, beats out Brad, and now the ball's off the backboard. East Coast Ghost, bottom right corner, and he does it yet again.
Yep, hat trick for East Coast Ghost. This one was a little bit more of just a regular shot, but right place, right time. Good enough power to get past Hypnotic.
I mean, it seems like he's just teleporting to the ball at this point. I mean, as you mentioned, he's in the right place at the right time, and he has catapulted this Banshees team to, in my eyes, a very likely Game 1 victory. Is LeBerry just barely off. He can't finish it. East Coast Ghost maybe trying to stat pad a little bit more. Can't find the touch in his own right, and now the Vipers the other way. East Coast Ghost going to stop that push in its track. LeBerry can't find the touch. Now it's Crip. He's going to accidentally flip, but wait, Brindy with a shot, and he capitalizes, and now it's only a 2-goal game.
Yep, good counterattack there from the Vipers. Honestly, earlier in the game, it was a little bit more back and forth. Vipers kind of were stuck in their half for a bit there off the kickoff, but good counterattack, like I said, to maybe get back into this one. It's going to be tough with 31 seconds to go, though.
You know, it is going to be very tough. We'll see if the Vipers can do it here as East Coast Ghost dribbles it over one, can't get the bump. Now LeBerry commits, but wait, this could be dangerous. Crip gonna ward off any danger. Hypnotic up with it, but wait a second, he fakes out Crip there. LeBerry up with the ball. It's off the backboard. Can another Banshees player find it? Yet another goal? East Coast Ghost would be the man to do it. He can't slot it. Now it's Brad with a little bit of boost. He's gonna have to score pretty instantaneously, but that's not gonna happen. And the Banshees have taken a surprising lead in this series early on. And Chef, I gotta get your thoughts. Like, are the Vipers doing anything wrong here, or are the Banshees just that good?
I think the Vipers are a little bit out of sorts, but it's really mostly just the Banshees' poise, and I think they're forcing a lot of mistakes out of the Vipers on all their players, really just forcing them into defense and making those mistakes happen and capitalizing like we saw mostly East Coast Ghost there with those 6 shots, 3 goals, and yeah, the Banshees look good.
Yeah, they do look great. And, you know, I just, you know, one game is cool and all, but you have to keep this consistency up, especially against this Vipers team. They're deadly. As you know what? Honestly, I think they could definitely take at least a game or two in this series if they just play their game. It seems like they're just bending to the Banshees' will. They're sitting back on their heels. They're letting the Banshees get into their zone, attack them. And I think that's what's really, really hurting them right now. And as we get game 2 underway, we take a trip to the train station here, Chef. And, you know, I got to get your predictions, man. Who you got taking this game 2? I mean, it seems like a pretty even game 1.
Like you said, with the Vipers right off the kickoff there, back to Hypnotic, good slot, caught the Banshees lacking a little bit. And yeah, as you said, the prediction, I think really the Vipers, I think if they can just kind of stop giving the respect to the Banshees, like you said, maybe come out, punch them in the mouth like we saw there already, I think the Vipers can definitely take this one. Obviously, a little bit easier after the first goal, but I think if the Vipers can play their game like you said, then they can come out and tie up the series.
Oh, 100%, as a very nice goal off the kickoff for Hypnotic. And honestly, I should just keep passing it to you for the Vipers' sake, because, I mean, as soon as I did, they just slotted it in the back of the net. It was a real quick goal as Hypnotic, the hero of that nice goal that was just scored. Hypnotic now with a bunch of boosts, going to bang it off the backboard. A nice touch, a beautiful pass, but Brindy just too slow to get to that one. Brad going to fake out Crip. A nice touch of his own. East Coast Ghost a little awkward, but he finagles the ball a little bit to somehow get it out of his zone. Crip now with a bunch of boost. He's going to try to flick it over Hypnotic. Now he's going to opt for the 50, and Hypnotic racing for that ball off the backboard. Brindy can't find the touch. Brad tries to send it past, but LeBerry, a beautiful beat, and the captain capitalizes.
Yeah, and really we saw some good offense from the Vipers, not really respecting their opponents, like I said, just kind of coming out fast and playing their game, but Brad gonna get caught out and let in open net there.
You know, East Coast Ghost really wanted that goal, and I don't blame him at all. You know, he could set like a Nemesis record or something for goals in a series. You know, at this rate, it's LeBerry. Oh my goodness, yeah. that was real close. As you know what, Chef, I'm gonna pass it to you because I want to see the Vipers score again. I know this is tied 1-1, very even series, but what's one player in particular you're looking forward to seeing progress as the series is going to continue? Any player that you think has to improve as the series progresses?
I know you mentioned it earlier, but Brad, honestly, he's obviously been caught out a few times, but he can really step up. Obviously, I played with him towards the beginning of the season, and he can really put some goals on the board quick, just kind of with his speed. He's definitely mechanical, but not in a traditional sense. I think he's just quick to the ball, and he's got good, solid touches all the time. So I think if Brad can really solidify his touches for that's a close one there off the post, solidify his touches for the Vipers, then he can definitely find a lot more success.
As you know, that was very close for the Banshees. They seem to want to get this goal super badly, but this is a very even game so far, and it's gonna matter on which team can execute better, which team can make the least amount of mistakes, and we're gonna see if the Banshees can be that team. As LeBerry, a nice touch, he's gonna get it off the backboard, pinches it down to East Coast Ghost, who a beautiful save from Brindy, gonna play some beautiful defense himself. Sends it out to LeBerry. LeBerry pops it high. East Coast Ghost can't make the touch. It's Brad instead down the pitch. Crip now to the midfield. Brindy gonna get a touch. Now Crip, a little awkward here. He's gonna use the coveted backflip to get it down the field. Hypnotic now over to East Coast Ghost, who has a full tank of boost. He beats out Brad as well. And that's a great play from him to get it into the Viper zone. And now the ball is floating up. Can Crip make a play? He sends it kind of towards the net, but it's a little awkward. Brad sends it the other way. LeBerry's the last one back. He has 0 boost. Brad with a great bump, but wait a second. Crip races back. And, you know, that was just a great chase down play from Crip. I mean, he's looking like DK Metcalf out there.
Yeah, for sure. Crip doing well on the defensive end like we saw. I know he's got towards the top of the league in saves per game or prospect specifically, but like I said, Brad, I think he's doing a little bit better to kind of get those touches, kind of keep the ball close, and he's playing well for sure. See if he can get one here. Not gonna happen. Knocked away by Crip.
No, as you know what, I will say Brad he missed the game against us on Wednesday. I'm not sure if he played the game with them on Monday, so could be a little you know, some cold feet from not playing with the team for a while. But honestly, he's looked pretty great as the series has progressed. And Crip, I'm looking to see if he can score a mechanical play. He seems to be the mechanical beast of this team. Wait a second, Brad McStackrap is gonna take this defense out to lunch.
Yeah, Brad's definitely heating up. I've liked what I've seen out of him, especially in this game. And yeah, that's what the Vipers are going to need. Obviously, taking the lead in here, and I think Brad's been a huge part of that.
Brad, a massive play, stepped up when his team needed him. But if we know anything about this series, it's not over, not by a long shot, as still over a minute left in both teams looking for a goal. The Vipers and Banshees looking for a goal for 2 separate reasons, but both the same goal as, wait a second, it's floating across the net. LeBerry racing back to get that one. 50's out Hypnotic. Now Brad over 1. Can't find the second touch. East Coast goes to Crip. He fakes it out. Or, you know, calculated fake there. LeBerry with a bunch of boosts. He's going to take it up. But Brindy, a beautiful touch from him. Hypnotic not able to find it. That Hypnotic to Brindy connection has been looking pretty good so far, but hasn't really been able to result in too many goals. As Crip sends it out. Hypnotic, beautiful play in his defensive half. Brad gets 1. Can he get a second? Almost dunks out LeBerry for another great goal. Hypnotic off the backboard. East Coast Ghost going to be there to meet him. He sends it down. 24 seconds left in this game. Brad sends it out, but wait, this is dangerous. Crip with potentially a shot, but wait, he puts it off target. Now East Coast Ghost is racing to find that one. LeBerry out, but Brad McSnackrap clears it back. Crip sends it into Brindy's car. He's going to pop it up high. Hypnotic's going to get a touch. It's still in this Banshee zone. They have to get it out. They have to get downfield. Brad off the ceiling. Can he get a goal for the road? It bounces awkwardly. It's still up, though. Can the Banshees find a surprise goal in this game, too? They don't really have boost. And Brad, the MVP of this game, too, going to put it to the ground.
Yeah, I mean, Brad, look at right there. We both mentioned it. That's really was the difference for the Vipers in that game, especially because the change from his play from game 1 to game 2, I think that really helped the Vipers win. But the Banshees still looked all right. Obviously, they didn't have the huge score game from East Coast Ghost, but I'd say the Banshees are still definitely in this one.
Oh, 100%. You know, I feel like both these teams have just looked very good. I don't think one team is playing better than the other so far. And that's, you know, it's pretty rare, especially in the Prospect League, where it seems like there's a little bit of a gap between some teams. But honestly, in these last couple of matches I've watched in Prospect, it seems like teams are just getting closer and closer together as the series progresses. And that's something that I think you would expect as teammates get used to each other, you know, and things obviously do change with rosters and stuff. But this Banshees team hasn't changed their roster in about 3 weeks. They've played with the same players, and it's looking like they've found a great set of players to maybe get some wins here, but they're going to have to go through the Vipers. Very good team. East Coast Ghost is going to have to turn on that one. He gets it over to Crip, who sends it down to Brindy the Blade, who backflips it up. Hypnotic now with 0 boost. He's going to try to front flip into that ball. Brad, the other end. He's going to give it up to Brindy, finding Brad and almost finds the back of the net there. And Chef, it seems like the Vipers are just feeling so confident right now.
Yeah, for sure. The new play of Brad, and also not as many kind of threatening plays coming out of the Banshees. They're doing well to limit those threats on offense. Not quite sure exactly how many shots they had, but definitely the Vipers picking it up from the midfield play and also the offensive end.
Yeah, you know, they're really looking good here. Brindy off the sidewall. Hypnotic, he misses as well, and that's a chance they're going to want back, but they're still in the Banshees zone. Brindy gets a touch. He's going to hopefully try to find a demo. It's not going to go. Hypnotic A nice play from him. He's going to send it out in the midfield. Brindy a little too close for that one. But Crip gets a very detrimental touch. Now it's Brad 50ing out 2 Banshees players. We saw him score off of that last game, so he knows how to 50 very well. East Coast goes, fakes out Brindy, and now Crip with an open net. Very calculated, very great play. And now the Banshees are up by 1.
Yeah, great fake, just catching Brindy out. Unfortunate, quick bang play on the sidewall. Really good from Crip to be ready for that, and maybe the comms coming through. That was great from Banshees to take a 1-0 lead here.
Banshees obviously looking really good, and that was their first shot of the game. You know, you got to capitalize when it matters most, and, you know, they haven't been a great team when it comes to capitalizing, but in this series, they've just looked the complete opposite. They're getting these chances, and they're making the most of it. Even chances that don't look that good, as LeBerry pops it high. Hypnotic getting bumped, and the Banshees are going ballistic.
That East Coast Ghost on the bump there, I believe, or yeah, it was, I think.
Yeah.
That was a crazy bump on a Hypnotic. Really, that's the type of stuff that I just never go for. I can never hit stuff like that, but that was calculated and crisp. Great bump from East Coast Ghost.
You know, Chef, I can barely hit the ball. You think I can hit a moving object? Come on now. I mean,
Yeah,
that's
I don't
just...
know.
East Coast Ghost has a knack for that thing, those kinds of things. But wait, I honestly think Brad, he can be a demo merchant himself, as almost finds the back of the net. Brad's going to miss. And now Crip with 0 boost. He's going to act like he has a bunch of boosts. What they won't know won't hurt them. Brad up with it. Gets 50'd out by LeBerry, and now that's a dangerous ball. LeBerry bumps out Hypnotic, but Hypnotic staying on the ball. Staying very solid. Brindy going to send it out to Brad, who's going to 50 out Crip there. East Coast Ghost sends it back. Hypnotic going to have to race for this one. He's going to turn on it, and it's off the sidewall. LeBerry, it squeaks past him, and now Crip with a little bit of boost. Can he make something happen? It's towards net. East Coast Ghost goes for the demo yet again. And I think an adjustment that the Vipers have to make is they got to stop. If they're playing goalie, they got to stop just sitting in net. They're standing still, allowing East Coast Ghost to go for these demos.
Yeah, really, the Vipers on the defensive end, they've used their kind of mechanics to bail them out a lot, but it's not always going to work, as Brad nearly gets one kind of bunch of fakes in front of the net. But like I said, their mechanics, obviously very skilled players all around, but sometimes that proactive defense can be a little bit more effective.
You know, I honestly, I totally agree. You know, if you get those defensive rotations right, they will be beneficial, as East Coast Ghost sneaks it past Brindy, and now the Banshees are running away with this one.
Man, it seemed like a pretty close game, a little bit back and forth, but Banshees just coming on with the opportunities very well, and they've been taking advantage of them for sure here.
You know what? I have to say, Banshees definitely looking like the best team in this series so far, as, you know, they've looked spectacular with Brad with a nice opportunity of his own. Brindy now sends it towards the net. It goes off of Crip's car, and now LeBerry with full tank up boost. Very slept-on player in prospect. He seemed to have found his mojo, as he's been great all series long. Off the ceiling it goes. East Coast Ghost sends it down. It's off the corner. Can he find the next touch? He does, but it's off the ceiling this time. Crip over to East Coast Ghost, but East Coast Ghost, of course, is going East Coast to try to find a demo. Brindy off the ceiling. East Coast Ghost, a nice backflip. Going to send it back out to Hypnotic. Crip with a full tank up boost. Now it's very dangerous for the Vipers, but Brindy going to stave away any pressure that they have. Brindy tries to send it to Hypnotic, but he gets beat by LeBerry. LeBerry tries to get to that one, but Crip might have an open net here. He gets one. Can't find another. He passes it to East Coast Ghost. A little bit of a wasted opportunity, but honestly, they don't need a goal right now. They're honestly just putting enough pressure on the Vipers to keep them away from their zone. Hypnotic with a full tank up boost. Can we see what he can do? Off the ceiling it goes. It waterfalls down, but no one home for that one. Brad sends it up. Crip going to be able to get a nice touch with a little under 40 seconds left. Both teams trying to get a win, but it only looks like one can, as Brindy a nice 50. Brad can't find the back of the net. Now Hypnotic, he gets it saved away. LeBerry is standing strong, and this Banshees team are a brick wall. Hypnotic off the ceiling. He gets a touch. East Coast Ghost pounces it off the ground. Now it's Brad's turn to hopefully get a team goal. They're going to have to score in the next couple of seconds if they want to even touch an overtime in this game 3, but it doesn't look like they will. Banshees have taken this game 3 in very convincing fashion. And you want to know what the surprising thing is, Chef? They only had 5 shots to their 3 goals. That's what matters, execution, and they executed perfectly in that game 3.
Yeah, for sure. Really great on the offensive end, just capitalizing those opportunities, executing like you just said. And really, 7 shots on the side of the Vipers, a little more than 5, but 0 for 7, obviously. And honestly, I don't even think the Vipers really, I think they took their chances fairly well. We just saw it towards the end there, especially great goal line saves out of the Banshees.
Yeah, it seemed like the Banshees just had it all figured out, especially, I feel like that's what's been plaguing them is their defense, especially just their defensive rotations just haven't looked that clean. But in this match, they're looking absolutely stupendous. Um, and honestly, we're going into Forbidden Temple, and Chef, you know the drill at this point. I'm assuming, it gets a little funky here in Forbidden Temple. And I gotta ask, I asked for a prediction in game 2. I think game 4 warrants a prediction, even though I know this game is going to be chaotic to the bitter end.
Yeah, for sure chaotic. Honestly, with the Vipers offense, I think they can definitely take it. But like you said, the Banshees defensive, like really, oh, it's a
Uh-oh.
bad time. I was gonna say their cohesion on defense really was looking pretty good, but a little bit of a miscue there from LeBerry and East Coast Ghost. But honestly, I'll still stand on it. I think the Banshees can come back and take this one.
You know what? I honestly, you just speak Viper's goals into existence. So, you know what? I feel like I can't let you talk anymore. I love a little upset here. But honestly, I'm just looking forward to a great game, and I think this series is going to be one of the better ones. As Hypnotic misses his touch, can we go to a second game 5 of the night? Brindy off the sidewall. He's going to try to get another touch. It's off the sidewall yet again. Brad with a shot, East Coast. Ghost just barely misses that one, and that's a big mistake.
It looked like he had it on the goal line. Maybe just finger slipped there. Not too sure, but powerful shot from Brad. Good enough to sneak past him. And yeah, the Vipers looking good to start this one off, starting off quick, and the shots are just falling for him, unlike game 3.
You know what? And that's just the curse. It seems like both these teams. Oh my goodness, Brindy
Reset.
trying to peek on him, and Hypnotic gonna capitalize on that one, and it's now 3-0 Vipers, and it's not even been a minute.
Wow, reset dunk from Brindy. Hypnotic quick to follow it up, and really, in the Prospect League, there's not a lot of teams that are going to be stopping that play.
No, that might even be a play that not even a rival league team can stop. And it's just really well executed there. But Banshees, the thing that can benefit them is they have a lot of time on the clock as LeBerry sends it down. Hypnotic going to be there to meet him. And it seems like the Vipers have just become more aggressive as the game has progressed. And that's really keeping the Banshees in their zone and keeping them very stout. But wait, East Coast goes with a beat. Hypnotic having to race back for that one. Crip now sends it, maybe top right. Oh, just barely can't get the placement there, but a good attempt nonetheless. Brindy, a little awkward here. He has a full tank of boost, though. He gets it past LeBerry, and now the Vipers looking to get it out of their own zone. It seems as though both these teams are trading punches right now, but the Vipers, it seems like they have the uppercut right now as almost a goal coming out here from the Banshees. But what do the Banshees need to do to come back in this one? What's looking so different from this game 3 to this game 4?
Honestly, it's a tough one. The Vipers are just looking clinical, following each other up quicker than before, and really just all facets. Vipers are looking really good right now, leveling up from the previous game. So 4-0, obviously a lot of time, like you said, unfortunate home goal from LeBerry. Might have been going in anyways, but I don't even know what the Banshees need to do. The Vipers have leveled up right now.
Yeah, this is the Vipers that I think we all expected to show up on stream, but East Coast Ghost, a nice touch. Brad gonna get there on that one. LeBerry can't find the touch. The Vipers thrive off of offensive opportunity and offensive pressure, and that's exactly what they're generating right now. They're shooting almost 100% right now as East Coast goes down to Crip. Can't find the touch. Brindy, a little slow to this ball, but he's going to get there. Going to try to control it and get a nice 50, but LeBerry wins that one. East Coast Ghost can't get to the ball, and now it's Brad. With no boost, going to leave it for Hypnotic, and now it's LeBerry. Going to be off his own backboard. Brindy gets it right under him, and now he has a bunch of boost, fakes out one, cannot get the 50. Season 11 Prospect League champion and Season 11 Finals MVP Brindy the Blade 25 is trying to send this into a Game 5 And if anyone could do it, he can, as almost a goal goes in the back of the net. But honestly, it seems like it's all but over here, as Brindy is going to put in a beautiful goal top right, and he has a hat trick. Hats are flying everywhere in Forbidden Temple right now.
Yeah, Brittany's just in flow state. The whole Vipers are in flow state, honestly. They're looking too good on this Forbidden Temple. Something clicked. They saw the temple in the background, and they're ready for it, man. They look incredible.
You know, it's just beautiful stuff we're witnessing on Forbidden Temple, and we're barely halfway through this game. It seems like the Vipers have just flipped a switch and are revealing how good they really are, as Brad gets it over one. East Coast Ghost going to find another touch, and now it's Hypnotic with a touch of his own. Crip up with it. He gets one, maybe on target, just barely goes off. East Coast Ghost cannot find that touch, and that is a little bit of an unfortunate situation there. LeBerry over to Crip, who pops it off the ceiling. Now it's East Coast Ghost with an attempt, but Brittany the Blade sending it over to Brad. But honestly, I think this game is all but over here. I think Vipers are just trying to stat pad from now on.
Yeah, for sure. Do you see the score line? And you're confused. This game's going to game 5. Yeah, the Vipers are down 2-1 in the series right now, and they're looking like they're going to send this to game 5 with all the momentum.
Yeah, all the momentum, especially going into a game 5 environment, is definitely optimal, as both teams are going to go into this game 5 in completely different mindsets, and that's exactly what the Vipers want. So Barry dribbles it past one, cannot find the touch past the other, and Vipers are pitching a shutout right now, as Crip can't find the touch. Hypnotic gonna get a nice touch of his own off the backboard, as Fred almost fakes out East Coast Ghost, but he's gonna get the ball himself. Gets one. He has plenty of boost to get a 50. He does, but a little bit of a double commit. Now Crip backflips, and this should be open. Hypnotic gonna get the freest goal of his life.
Yep, even more of a landslide coming for Vipers. Unfortunate side flip, back flip. But yeah, really, Vipers just taking this momentum. Banshees are just going to try and look to get one on the board here going into game 5. Maybe that'll stop the floodgates or close the floodgates for the Vipers.
You know, they haven't scored this game, but it's not for lack of trying. They have 9 shots in this game, but 0 goals. It's just really telling this Vipers defense has stepped up so much, and the Banshees can't capitalize on these chances anymore because they're getting absolutely bullied in the offensive zone, and now it's 7-0. Brindy the Blade pushing 1,000 points.
Pushing 1,000 for Brindy. He's been incredible this game. Really, everyone on the Vipers been incredible, but 7-0, that's just a nuts scoreline. You don't expect that going into game 5.
Game 5 we're about to go to, but honestly, game 5 shouldn't be close if we're judging it based off this game 4, as Brindy gets off the backboard, almost doubles it. Crip now lets Hypnotic take it from him, and now East Coast Ghost going to send it down. 10 seconds left, and you know what? I gotta say, this is one of the more dominant game wins I've seen in a while. Vipers just absolutely took control, and you know, why not one more for the road? Brindy eclipses 1,000 points.
Over 1,000 there for Brindy, padding the stats, shooting up the leaderboards. And man, I think every one of my predictions have been wrong in this series, but I guess in game 5, like you said, if you're judging off that game, Vipers are going to take it. And honestly, 8-0, there's nothing else I can say. I'm expecting another dominant Vipers victory, but with the back and forth we've seen, I don't know what's going to happen.
You know, and I think that's the beauty of the Nemesis Gaming League. You never know what's going to happen, as both these squads looking so poised to get this game 5 victory. But honestly, I see the Vipers taking it, if I'm going to be completely honest. I mean, I'd be very surprised with the Banshees, but the Banshees have surprised me already. So, you know, we might have some more surprises in tow, as, you know what? I gotta ask one more time, Chef. You know, do you want to curse one of these teams by giving a prediction?
Like I said, I think the Vipers are going to take it 8-0. There's nothing else, no other prediction I could go with. I think the Vipers going to take this game 5, but I mean, like I've been wrong in the past just now. We'll see.
You know what, Chef? You're never wrong if you're just overconfident. You know, that's just how, you know, if you tell yourself you're not wrong, you never are wrong. It's game 5, Champions Field, where legends are made. We're about to get this one underway. And it seems as though the Vipers and Banshees are going to take this one to the bitter end. Who's going to win? We're about to find out after 5 minutes of Rocket League. Hypnotic sends it back. LeBerry off the kickoff. Cannot find more than that. Brad, beautiful pre-jump from him. But Rare has subbed in for Crip here. It's now Rare, LeBerry, and East Coast Ghost. As, you know what? I don't mind the sub and Rare. A very great player in his own right. Played 6 mans with them last night, and he just looks spectacular. So, you know what? I think in this environment, he should capitalize as he gets a nice touch. Cannot find the backboard. LeBerry now sends it up. East Coast Ghost almost with a shot. Rare accidentally drives past the ball. He's going to get a touch by himself. Maybe a 50. He gets faked out by the Vipers there. And now Hypnotic off the sidewall. East Coast Ghost gets a nice 50, but not that nice as it's floating in the Banshee zone. Brad misses the touch, but maybe it was a fake to Brindy. LeBerry up with it, but Brindy is going to slam it down.
Yeah, maybe a miss, maybe a fake. Definitely worked out in the Vipers' favor as Brindy with those solo plays once again. I don't even know how many solo play goals he has. Definitely a couple so far in this series, and Brindy's been impressive when he gets that space and time.
I mean, it's just he's really stepped up for his team. You know, he had a little bit of a slow start, but now he's really taking over this team. This is exactly what we saw in Grand Finals of Season 11. I mean, he scored almost every goal for his Ember team to get them that championship, and now when Vipers needed him most, he stepped up. It's just like he awakens at the perfect moments, but oh my goodness, as we just see Brindy the Blade doing it all himself yet again.
He's inevitable, honestly. I mean, Brindy's been a staple in the Nemesis Gaming League since I joined. I don't know, Season 7 was the first I heard him when I first joined, but I'm sure he's been around even longer than that, I believe. And he's just a great player to have in your team, honestly. Every team is going to want Brindy as he gets bumped off the ball there, but I'm sure he would have scored it.
You know, he might have. Is a little bit of a chance coming from the Vipers, but Hypnotic unable to net that one. A little bit of miscommunication for the Banshees. You know, Banshees, in my opinion, don't have the best mental. So I think this one is all but over, but they could surprise me. You know, you never know. LeBerry sends it off the sidewall. Brad over to the sidewall himself, and now East Coast Ghost with no boost gives it right to Brindy, and that's not the man you want to give it to. It's just sent down the field. He's going to fake it out. Hypnotic with the bounce shot. Rare, a nice save, but Brad is going to put it in the back of the net, and you can Brad McSnack wrap up this series.
Yeah, very tough spot for Rare there. Gets one save, but Brad, honestly, off the bump from LeBerry, good try from LeBerry to bump Brad off the ball, but Brad gets just enough on the ball to put that one in. And yeah, Vipers coming right back out like they did in Game 4. No matter the sub, Rare coming in. Honestly, Rare's doing a decent job so far, but Vipers just look on another level, especially Brindy.
Yeah, you know, he's just looked spectacular as the Banshees team just can't seem to find anything to go their way. That Game 2 from them, or actually, no, sorry, Game 3 looked very good from them, but since then, it's just looked like all the Vipers. And in this Game 5, there's no offense coming from the Banshees. They have 2 shots to the Vipers' 6 on the board as Brindy almost finding yet another goal. Brad gets almost beat out by Rare, but he's going to miss his touch. Hypnotic going to send it down the other way. Hypnotic going to find one. He sends it over to Brad, who's going to maybe get a goal, but East Coast Ghost going to stop him in his tracks. East Coast Ghost has to be the guy to step up for his team. He's the Brindy, the Blade 25 of this Banshees team. He's going to have to get a goal here to maybe alleviate some of the pressure. Brad off the sidewall. LeBerry gets 50'd out. Now East Coast Ghost with a full tank of boost and a dream. Brindy 50ing him out. And now Hypnotic with the ball. It's popped up high. Can Brad get a nice touch? He sends it over to the wall. And Brindy cannot beat East Coast Ghost. Hypnotic now. They're just 50ing the Banshees left and right. Brindy going to get a touchdown. And now Brad and Rare are going to race for this one. East Coast Ghost to the sidewall it goes. And both these teams just fighting in the midfield so far, Chef. And do you think the Banshees have any chance of coming back in this one?
I don't know, man. The Vipers look good like we've been talking about. Honestly, as a good try with the substitute, I think you got to change something up after an 8-0 loss, but Vipers look too good right now. I'm not sure what the Banshees need to do.
Banshees scoreless in the last 9 minutes of Rocket League. So they need to get a goal now, and Brindy the Blade is going to deny all of that. He puts in his third of the game, and hats are flying everywhere.
Yeah, Brindy, I don't even know how much score he's racked up in these last 9 minutes, but it's been incredible. He's just stat padding at this point. 4-0. Banshee's going to need a huge comeback, and I mean, anything's possible, but Vipers just got to hold it down for another minute here.
You know, are you familiar with Madden, Chef?
I am familiar.
You know the X Factor abilities in Madden. I feel like Brindy activated his superstar X Factor, and now he's just absolutely dominating. 3 goals on 4 shots. He's almost shooting 100%. And against this very stellar Banshees defense, that's no small feat. LeBerry now, the captain, needs to get something going for his team. He needs to score pretty much on this chance to give his team a chance. Rare up with the ball. He's mechanical in his own right, but the ball is going to be 50'd out once again. Hypnotic missing his touch, and now it's just floating in the midfield. LeBerry sends it off the side while Brindy, a nice touch down the field. Brad going to try to maneuver his car to get to that, but Rare is going to put it in the back of the net and hand Brindy his 4th of the game.
Yeah, it looked like Brad just kind of got in the way of Rare. Rare wasn't quite sure if he could jump for that ball and got to be too awkward on the goal line there. And I know we've been talking about Brindy a ton, but Brad and Hypnotic definitely stepped up as well. And obviously, you could take the whole team to go 13 goals straight against a solid team like Banshees.
Just absolutely incredible. One of the most dominating 2 games we've seen, and of course they come in Game 4 and Game 5 for this Vipers squad, as the Vipers are going to take this series. And Hypnotic, you know, why not have a goal, man? You absolutely deserve it. Very slept on player in this series, and he is going to get one here for his first of the game.
Yeah, Brad and Hypnotic getting their names on the screen. It's been a lot of Brindy like we talked about, but looks like one player already gone on the side of Banshees, but just a formality here as the Vipers take it. Really, it was a close series, but game 4 and 5 just dominating. As I said, it was 14 goals straight now for the Vipers to 0 on the side of the Banshees.
You know, at first I was doubting my claims that Vipers were the best team in prospect, but after those last 2 games, I mean, I stick by what I said. They are a very excellent team, but we are running 4 minutes behind time. So we're going to get this next series underway, the final series of the night. We're taking it to the Novice League as we see the Legend Chunk on the field. And now it's about that time, ladies and gentlemen. So thank you again, Chef, for casting with me. It's always a pleasure.
Thank you.
As make sure to stick around because this Novice League matchup, we've already had 2 Game 5s on stream. Will we see a third? Let's find out right here. Peace out.
wasting my time. Could've saved a pickup line. Didn't have to go buy your drinks that night. Go and ask for your number. Wait a week to call you. Or wait to meet your mother. I wonder, what if we skip the wait, the fancy dinner dates, and all the Hallmark holidays, skipped anniversaries, the get down on one knees. What if I knew in time you'd leave me? What if we never waited? Skip a couple pages. What if we made a long story short and oh, the awkward stages and honeymoon phases we could have made. A long story short. A long story short. They say go see where she's from, then wait a year as a rule of thumb before you can call it love, love, love. Oh God. They say to just take it slow. They say to see where it goes. But what if I would have known when I said hello? I would skip the wait, the move into my place, pretend to love your friends I hate. Skip years and little fights on drunken Friday nights. Why did you wait to say goodbye? What if we never waited? Skip a couple pages. What if we made a long story short?
0 seconds remaining. He seems to be playing hard for it. Oh my goodness, what is this?
Doesn't get the touch he's looking for. Kato, Scott, oh, he gets the flicking, he gets it through.
He's gonna get the shot. He's gonna put it in. Back to back. On the backward. Can he find the touch? He's gonna put the shot on.
High off the backboard here. Opportunity. Here comes the shot.
Is this serious? Now, hold on. Surely this can't. Oh my lord.
Go with the shot. It's gonna go in.
Oh, open thing on the goal line. He did nearly over. Sweep. It comes through. The Venom, the improbable, the impossible, the 4-time champions. All right, what is going on, everybody? Welcome back to our final matchup of the night. We have had two absolute crazy series on the night, back-to-back game fives. I'm Rockerman, joined up in the booth by the one and only Ventus. Once again, Ventus, how are you doing tonight?
I am doing so dandy, Rockerman. I got to watch both those matchups. I mean, both insane stuff, you know. So I'm super excited for this matchup as well. It should be a great one. Two of the, you know, some say top novice league teams, you know, Acceleration currently sitting at 4-3 and Wisps currently sitting at 5-2. You know, both these teams have what it takes to win the entirety of novice league. So hopefully it'll be a good matchup, and I'm super excited.
Yeah, and we're going to just dive right into it. We're running a little behind, so we're going to get things moving here, Ventus. But you mentioned two of the top teams in Novice going at it. We've had back-to-back Game 5s on the night. What do you say, Ventus? Do you think we got one more Game 5 in us, and what are you looking forward to in this one?
I don't know if we have a Game 5. I feel like this is going to be a Game 4 match, and I think it's going to go to whoever's going to get Game 1. I'm going to give the edge to Wisps, just because they have Lucky Rise on their team. I believe that's how you say it. I mean, he was the player of the week last week, and, you know, he's standing out very much so in the Novice League. He has, I think, 1.4 goals per game, you know, 2.1 saves per game, and he's already currently listed as the number 2 rated player in all of Novice, so he's definitely going to be the player that I'm looking at to make another statement here, especially on stream. And but for the side of Acceleration, I'm really looking at Chunklight and Jolly Rogers. I know Jolly Rogers very much big on those demos. One of the highest, I think the highest by a wide margin in all of Novice, but one of the highest across all leagues. And so looking out for those demos, and Chunklight, you know, being there, being a great defender just like that, and being a great presence on offense as well.
Yeah, Ventus, Jolly Rogers, he's most known for his demos. He is, right now at the moment, he is 23 demos up over second place. And for record, second place has 43 demos. So This man puts on the demos. We are most certainly going to be watching out for him roaming around the pitch. And yeah, like you mentioned, a lot of other great players here. Acceleration in the orange here with Chunk Light, Jolly Rogers, and Sticks. And then Wisps with Mr. Silent, Jer Bear, and Lucky. And yeah, you mentioned Lucky. Definitely a player to watch out for on the Wisps. Taking that Player of the Week award last week. So he's definitely got to watch out for on that side, as this one can be pushed in the midfield. Jer Bear gonna find the touch. This one popping up high. Jolly, he's gonna take it down into the corner. This one gonna be blocked up. 50 real high up there. Mr. Silent trying to get up through with the boost. No touches are gonna come through. Sticks can't get their Chunk late. Trying to dive through, but not quite able to make that touch there. As that one, a big early opportunity here for acceleration, but couldn't quite put that one home. But you know, there are some promising signs of offensive life.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely see all of that, all those opportunities coming to life here. I mean, definitely Chunk Light had a great shot on net, just a good save there by Jer Bear, and you know, Jolly Rogers already getting a couple of those demos I see, but it looks like the net's going to be wide open for this one, and Jer Bear going to put that one home off of a pass from Lucky Rise, and just a good beat there, out pop to the midfield, and Jer Bear going to be first to that ball and put that one home.
And it looks like a little bit of a double commit between Chunk and Jolly. A little bit awkward there. Gonna allow Lucky to just send it across the middle, right towards the net, and find the finish. So the Wisps here are gonna take this one, the early lead, the first goal of this one. As Lucky looking to follow with it, sends it down. Lucky again off the back where this one pops up. Chunk like trying to get to it. Here comes Mr. Silent, who's gonna send it in, and the Wisps find their second.
Yeah, I mean, that's just all Lucky once again. He beats Jolly Rogers, gets a beat on Sticks to pop it out in the midfield, and Mr. Silent already ready, trusting his teammate there, and ready to pounce in the midfield, and he's going to put that one just right around Chunk Light. Not much you can do there if you're Chunk Light, just a good placement on the shot, and, you know, it's just unfortunate for acceleration, but a great play once again, and another play where we see Lucky really standing out and being a playmaker.
Yeah, he is driving that offense, has so far this season, and doing so right here in this game number 1. And like we mentioned, these are two of the top teams in Novice League. Definitely going to be some contenders that are competing at the end of the season. Wisps right now tied for first with the Fusion, who just picked up a win earlier tonight. And then Acceleration here, they're sitting at 4th right now in a 3-way tie for the 3rd seed. So both these teams knowing the importance is, oh no, that one is going to be own gold. A little bit of a novice moment comes through, and the Wisps are going to find their 3rd.
It's just so unlucky here. I mean, you see the demo coming out, Jer Bear with a great demo, and Chunk Light trying to get back, Jolly Roger also trying to get back, just rushing as fast as possible, and they're going to own goal this one. It's so unlucky, but I mean, a good play by Wisps, you know, opening up the field with the demo from Jer Bear. And you know, we talked about Jolly Rogers getting all those demos, but Jer Bear getting a really crucial one there to open up the way for them to score. So
yeah, and hey, it works. Whatever works, you know, you're gonna take it. I know I certainly will. You know, a goal's a goal here. And the Wisps are going to be happy to grab that one in the back of the net. Give themselves a 3-goal lead here in game number 1. And now Acceleration got to try to find their way back through things here and see if they can bring it back, as and they have already been on stream before, so shouldn't have too many stream nerves to their name. The Wisps, they have been yet to be streamed, so really performing well. And I wonder if there are a little bit of nerves, or you know, maybe it's just, you know, kind of that game 1, you know, feeling things out, Ventus.
yeah, it's definitely, you know, kind of feeling things out. I think that Acceleration doesn't really, I believe Lucky is a newer addition to the Wisps, so Acceleration don't really know how they play with this new roster, and so now they're kind of getting the full force of what Lucky can do and how much of a presence he is on the field. And so now they're going to have to game plan in game number 2 and for the rest of the series how to, you know, take this new Wisps on and, you know, really counter the presence that Lucky has on the field.
Yeah, they're going to have to watch out for him as he is there throwing some demos on the pitch there, taking out the defenses. This ball is going to bounce out of the midfield. Mr. Silent looking for one more. It's floating off the post. Follow-up is going to go off the post as well. That one open net, not quite going to find its way through. But a very good opportunity. And Jer Bear, he is going to send this one in. And the Wisps, they do find that 4th.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great shot from Jerber off the sidewall. You know, maybe they deserved a 4-0 lead anyways with that miss on the open net. But, you know, such as novice league, you know, you can't expect too much from these players. They've already put out such a great showing. You know, a couple misplays here and there aren't too uncommon. Especially, you know, we see these types of mistakes in even the rival league. We saw earlier with the Thunderbirds. You know, there's an open net miss there, so you know it can happen in all leagues, and it's definitely just part of the nerves probably, and you know just get easing themselves into the series. But either way, a great 4-0 win is very convincing and very dominant performance, might I say.
Yeah, and I'm a little bit surprised here. There was only one shot on net, Ventus, from that acceleration squad. Chunkley able to find one there, but they pretty much got shut out. The Wisps had all the pressure and just dominated the stat sheets there in that game number one. And I'm curious about you. I mean, how are you going to break through if you're acceleration here and start out game two on a good foot?
Yeah, I mean, and that one shot that the acceleration did have came within the first minute of gameplay, so they really were on the back foot for the last 4 minutes. But they really got to figure out how to stop Lucky and you know, keep up with his momentum and speed. So I'm really looking to Chunklight as the high salary player in acceleration to kind of be that one to almost instinctively just take on Lucky in a 1v1. You know, insta challenge him when he has the ball, make sure that he isn't being able to make passing plays or you know get these beats on the ball, and kind of just make sure that the other two players can just hang on, because it really seems like Lucky has been able to do whatever he wants this series, and I think that the main way to stop it is Jolly Rogers is going to go on for demos on the back line on defense, and Chunklight is going to contest Lucky one-on-one and be able to take him on. But as I say that, Lucky going to be able to beat Chunklight to the ball and put that one in the back of the net.
Yeah, just a little bit too quick. That one, a big fire across from Mr. Silent. Found the demo as well. Sent it across, and the Wisps are picking up right where they left off in that game number one with the first goal there. And acceleration, not what you want to see from them starting out in game number two. Personally, I wanted to just see them, yeah, like you said, try to find that offense and, you know, find a way to challenge Lucky. There you go, finding a demo right there on him in the midfield, and you know, just kind of see where that can take you here. As this one's gonna pop up, floating down in the midfield, trying to 50 that one off the wall there, but not quite gonna find its way. As Sticks now gonna take a touch across. This one floating in the midfield, opportunity gonna be high off the backboard. Jerber trying to go in and out. The shot attempt is gonna be a little bit too slow, allowing Jerber to get back out to it and send that one away as he's trying to find some demos in this one. Mr. Silent popping this one out towards the middle. Lucky gonna take control high off the backboard. Jolly trying to get up to it, but here comes Jerber, and the demo comes through, erasing the last defender. Jerber sends it in 2-0 in favor of the Wisps.
Yeah, and it's another just great pass, a high pop off the backboard, and then getting that demo is so crucial. I mean, it's a great shot from Jerber, and you know, I give a bunch of credit to Lucky so far that he's been such a player for this Wisps team, but I mean, Jerber and Mr. Silent have also been very good, and looks like Lucky gonna get a 50 goal here. It's gonna go off Sticks and goes straight into the net, and that one's really unlucky for the acceleration squad, is you know going down another goal, and another one where it's not a super you know skillful, I'll say, you know it's not a super intentional. I mean, he positioned himself very well on that 50, but just going straight into the net like that is super unlucky, and it's another one of those plays where you know Wisp just getting a nice little easy goal. The acceleration had an own goal in game one. We see another goal similar to that in game number two, so it's just super unfortunate.
Hey, and you know what's not unfortunate, Ventus, is Sticks getting on the board here, and finally the scoring is broken open here just a little bit. You see Chunklight, he's finding a little bit of a bump on the back, and Sticks gonna send it in, and hey, maybe that's the goal they need, Ventus, to really start kind of ramping up their momentum.
Yeah, I mean, they already have 2 shots in this game number 2, so already looking a little better than game number 1 as we're only a minute and a half into this. But, I mean, it's a good showing from Acceleration, definitely, and finally being able to kind of outspeed that Wisp squad and, you know, really start putting a couple of good shots on net, and it's going to find the back of the net, and, you know, hopefully it's more signs to come from this Acceleration squad. Maybe they're finally finding their footing.
Oh, yeah, is that one almost a double tap attempt coming through, but not quite gonna find the net here. But yeah, for Acceleration's sake, hopefully they are finding their footing here as Sticks going to send this one down over the top of one. Jolly Rogers is coming through, trying to send it that one off the backboard. Chairbear with a nice save, able to get that one away. As this one dropping down in the midfield, this one's going to pop up high off the backboard. It's floating there. Jolly Rogers going to hit it around one, but no, Chunk Light not quite ready to follow that one. That one's going to be sent down. Opportunity to shoot at the open net. Mr. Silence sends an absolute screamer into the net there, and the Wisps are right back to their 3-goal lead.
Yeah, and it's just another play where, I mean, this time Acceleration kind of gets caught out of their rotation. Jolly Rogers and Sticks kind of overcommitting up, and Junkline not being able to rotate back enough where he's able to contest the play fully. And a great little passing play between Silent and Jerbear. You know, Wisps seem to kind of be firing on all cylinders. You know, it's not just Lucky really leading the way. I mean, he is doing a lot for this team, but also Mr. Silent and Jerbear kind of holding their own, you know, creating a lot of these plays, and you know they're part of the play nonetheless. They're able to put great shots on net. They're able to get these passing plays off with each other, and so it hasn't just been Lucky being a one-man show. It's been this entire Wisp team kind of really clicking in and really figuring out how to play with each other.
Yeah, and that's definitely impressive here. Still kind of midway through the season, especially in Novice. You know, being able to find each other, those team plays. You know, a lot of times in Novice, I feel like Ventus, we see a lot of solo plays from Novices. As Chunk Light, oh my goodness, coming through. That one's gonna ring off the post. Sticks, he's gonna ring off the post. That one, oh no, a big opportunity not gonna go through. And that one, they are going to want back for sure. As, oh, Chunkley with a great save on the goal line. Mr. Silent, he's off the post too. Oh my goodness, what is happening, Ventus?
Yeah, I mean, neither team really being able to find the back of the net. We see some two post shots by Acceleration and one by Wisp on their own. And it's just not quite where they're placing these shots. And some great saves. I mean, I think Chunkley there had such an amazing save where he read off the crossbar and in, and it was an amazing save from him just to keep the ball out of the net. And luckily Wisp's not able to capitalize on that one, and it looks like Jolly Rogers gets a demo here. Chunklight gonna put that one in off the sidewall, and since there's no one back from that demo, it's gonna just find the back of the net and at least ease the scoring and you know, minimize that lead that Wisps had.
Yeah, that's what we've seen a lot from Acceleration thus far this season, is Jolly Rogers really finding those demos on the back end, opening up space, allowing Chunk Light to make those plays, and they made a play right there and able to cut the deficit to 2 now. Still a minute remaining, so there is a good bit of time here for Acceleration to try to bring it back, but they're going to need to bring it back a little more quickly as Chairbear is going to send one home.
Yeah, and there's just not much Sticks can do. You see Mr. Silent going for a bump. You see Lucky getting the bump afterwards. Just, you know, both players going for demos, just opening up the path for Jerbear, who's going to put that one in the back of the net. And he's been really good shooting-wise so far in this series. I mean, he's kind of placed the ball really well and generated a lot of power, especially for Novice League.
Yeah, I'll have to agree with Ventus there, as a lot of power has come through, as that one is going to be popped up, and not sure what happened. Maybe a little technical difficulty right there for a second, as yeah, down to the final 30 seconds here of game number 2, and the Wisps looking to hold on and close out this deal, looking to go up 2-0 here. As this one's going to be sent towards the net, Jolly Rogers is going to put it in.
Hello? Am I back?
Yeah. I think it might have been me. I'm not sure.
I don't know what happened. I guess my mics are messed up there, but yeah, a great play there from Jolly Rogers. Yeah, I was talking about how well Jerbear was able to shoot, and I guess my mics just cut out. Well, you know, technical difficulties. What can you do about it? You just move on. But
it's
a great shot there by Jolly Rogers, and I mean, overall, a much closer game than game number 1, but it looks like Wisps are going to take this one, and they go up 2-0 in the series, which is very difficult to come back from, especially with how dominant they've looked.
Yeah, it will be a tall task here, as that one is going to hit the ground. The Wisps going to go up 2-0 here in that one, and yeah, like you said, it's been a dominating start so far for the Wisps. 5-3 victory. Acceleration, they were able to get on the scoreboard here in this last game, but you know, again, Ventus, it just hasn't been too convincing yet on the Acceleration end. And well, I guess I gotta ask you again, I mean, what do you need to see here to be convinced but this acceleration team can bring it back. They can win this series. They can pull off the reverse sweep. What do you want to see here and head into game 3?
I think that they got to play a little bit safer on defense. I've noticed a lot of the times their last man's getting caught out on their own and getting bump attempt by multiple players on the Wisps team. And so if they leave another player back, it limits that that presence that they can go for these bumps and demos and really open up that space because they have another player back waiting to recover. And if they play a little bit safer and play a little bit more counterattack play style, I think that would benefit them a lot because Wisps seem to be a little bit more, or not a little bit, way more aggressive than acceleration, and they've seemed to go for a lot more of these bump plays than Jolly Roger, who's known for his bumping, has been able to go for. So I think maybe playing a little bit more passive, kind of waiting for Wisps to kind of overcommit and having an extra man kind of back a little more should solve a lot of their problems.
Well, we will see if they're going to be able to do that here as we're into game number 3. The Wisps up 2-0 in the series. Acceleration looking to battle back and find themselves a reverse sweep attempt, trying to find the trifecta of game 5s, and this one might be the most improbable of them all, but you never know what can happen out here in the Novice League, as we do have two of the top teams, maybe not as improbable, but just because of the way the series has gone, it's looked a little bit chaotic, as Jolly Rogers is going to find a demo doing what he does best, and here comes a flick, trying to shoot that one towards the net, but it's going to be saved off to the side there, as Lucky looking to take it up. He can't find that touch. This one coming through. Chunkley trying to send it down, but a double commit with Sticks. He's going to move this acceleration team a little bit awkwardly. As this one again dropping down in the midfield. Lucky trying to get to it. Looking for a pinch there, but that one just going to be pushed off to the side here. About 1:30 into this game. The Wisps shooting this one towards the net, but Sticks is going to find a great block. And so far, I will have to say, Ventus, just based on the scoreline alone, Acceleration is doing a lot better. And how about that scoreline? Jolly Rogers going to put it in and give them the lead.
It's a really good shot. Able to read that one off the corner and, just able to put it still on target, but at the place where he was positioned, that's a really difficult shot and a difficult redirect to make. And so I really commend him for being able to score that one, because that one is very difficult. And, a lot of teams don't even expect people to be able to hit that one. So a great shot, putting Acceleration up 1-0.
Yeah, that was huge there from Jolly Rogers. And yeah, he was definitely a player after the first 2 games I wanted to see step up. Oh my goodness, that one was almost absolutely insane for the Novice League, but it was saved away. And my goodness, if that shows you about the confidence from this Wisp team, that was something. And the big demo is going to open up space in here because Mr. Silent is going to put it in.
Yeah, I mean, even though Lucky didn't get the assist credit for that one, he definitely was a big factor in that goal there, as he was able to get the demo on the last man. Once again, no one from the Acceleration side able to kind of cover that demo or that bump attempt, or when that bump does land. There's nobody from Acceleration that's able to recover in time and get back in time to make those saves. So another great play by Wisp, but one that we've constantly seen time and time again work.
Yeah, no, they are kind of the ones, like you mentioned, turning the bumps and the demos in their favor. We mentioned Jolly Rogers being up there in those demos, but the Wisps are showing, hey, we can do that too, as another one comes through on that end. And Acceleration forced to try to recover for the moment. They do have it in the Wisp zone for a second now, but that one sent over the top of Chunk late. And Chunk forced to race back as another demo comes through. This time Sticks taking out a defender. This one shot off the backboard. Chunk pushing it out of the midfield, trying to stay with it, but Lucky gonna get it over the top of one here. We still have 2 minutes remaining. This ball out of the midfield. Sticks gonna clear it across, a little bit dangerous, but he's able to get it away for the time being. As Chunk now gonna push it down. Bear looking to take control. This one's gonna pop up. Here comes Jolly Rogers looking for the shot. He's gonna send it in, and Jolly Rogers find another one, giving his team the lead.
Yeah, and that's a great 50 by Chunk Light, and in the corner there. Usually, you know, when you would challenge a player in their own corner, it's very difficult for anything super good to come out of it. But Chunklight able to play that 50 perfectly for it to pop out middle for Jolly Rogers, and he's there. And as that last man back, it's a little bit of a preemptive challenge from Wisp, but they've been so confident this entire series. You know, I don't think that this one mistake will really hurt them too much. So it's a very risky challenge for both players, but overall, I mean, it works out for Acceleration, and they're going to go up 2-1.
Yeah, they're going to take it here. Sometimes when you're down in the series, you got to take a couple of risks, and they're able to find it in the back of the net. Going to give them that 2-1 lead here, but can they hold on? The Wisp offense has been so potent, and they're coming back again, but a great save. Sticks on the goal line, clears away, but Jerbear, he's not done yet, trying to keep it around. This one pushed to the corner. Mr. Silent, he opted to go all the way back there for boost. That one 50'd up big in the midfield, but Acceleration not quite ready on top of that one. As we're down to the final minute here, Acceleration trying to hold on and see if they can send this series to a game number 4. This one pushed down into the corner. Wisp not quite able to collect it. Is this one popping up high? Mr. Silent has to get a touch. It's out of the midfield. Here comes Sticks turning around. Gonna push this one high off the backboard, but lucky. Great backboard defense from him as Sticks is bumping Chairbear out of net there, trying to open up a little bit more space here and see if they can find one more one more goal to give them a little bit of cushion here. As this one is dangerous in front of the net, and no one is going to get a touch except for Lucky, who ties it up.
And that's just that chaos that's created. I mean, we see Silent get an extra touch there off the double commit in the corner, and then I think he also got a bump on Sticks, and it really paved the way for Lucky just to put that one in the back of the net. And another goal where, you know, out of the chaos that the Wisp were able to create, they're able to score another goal, and that one very impactful as well, as it ties up the game.
Yeah, that one, no bigger goal than that one in this series thus far, as the Wisps, they're trying to get out the brooms here. And they might be able to do it in regulation if they can find one more opportunity, but Acceleration not done yet. This one going out in the midfield, but Mr. Silent going to find a touch. Jolly trying to send it back in. Jerbear drops it in the midfield. Chunk Light with an opportunity, but a good pre-flip from Lucky, able to send it away. As now this one going to go. Oh, is it going to go in? No, it's off the crossbar. Oh my goodness, the Wisps almost find the series dagger at 0 seconds, but instead they are going to find overtime, Ventus.
Yeah, and that was almost an insane shot. Unfortunately, just a little too much power on that one. But nonetheless, I mean, we can see that this Wisp squad able to come back and able to generate a lot of pressure. They came back in the shot department. It looks like they might get another shot there, but going to be saved away by Chunklight. And Chunklight been very good on this backline defense as well. But, you know, I'm hoping that he's able to, that they're able to stay in the series. But just as I say that, Mr. Silent going to put in the dagger for Acceleration and end this series in a sweeping fashion.
Yeah, Mr. Silent just able to find the bottom right, and the Wisps able to pull off the sweep, get the brooms out here on stream. Big victory for them there, and they played really, really well, Ventus. I mean, a very impressive performance. We hadn't seen too much of the Wisps yet this season, but clearly, you know, after that one, definitely going to be a team to be reckoned with.
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely even maybe an understatement. I feel like the Wisps, with how they just played, I mean, they beat one of the teams that are ranked very highly in Acceleration, who are thought to be, you know, the 1 or the 2, maybe the at the lowest a 3 seed coming into this match. And, you know, Wisp really showing what they're all about, able to get a very dominant sweep. I mean, that last game, number 3, was a lot closer, but I mean, looking back at game 1 and 2, Lucky able to put so much pressure on the Acceleration squad, and able to generate so much offense just purely on his own. And Jerbear and Silent, you know, really able to kind of play super well off of him, able to shoot well, able to pass between each other, and they look like a very complete squad. And so usually that's going to be very good going into playoffs, especially in the novice league, is, you know, a lot of these teams are a lot more reliant on individual solo plays. So for Wisps to be able to kind of pull out a bunch of these team passing plays and these bump plays that are allowing their members to shoot is going to be super, you know, good going into the playoffs.
Yeah, no, I agree with you for sure. Definitely a top team to watch out for in that novice league heading into the playoffs. I'm sure we'll be seeing them there more than likely. Novice has been a little crazy, but with the way they performed, definitely going to be ones to watch out for. And yeah, that's pretty much going to wrap it up for our stream. Got to give a couple of quick shout outs for a couple of resubs here. Shout out to Silver J coming back for 23 months, Cal for 38 months. Much love to both of you guys. Also Cal gifting a sub, and then Tricky, my captain, coming in with a 1 month sub there. Much love to all you guys for supporting. And yeah, if you guys are enjoying the stream, as always, feel free to support. All the revenue generated by the streams goes back to funding our streamers and commentators here. So if you're liking what you're seeing, consider it as like a tip in a way. You can gift a sub if you're enjoying. Gift some bits as well. And yeah, if you guys are enjoying, all that money goes back to paying our commentators and streamers who put hard work in and week out here to give you guys the best content possible on the stream. So shout out to all of them and shout out to you guys. And one final shout out to our Nemesis Premium subscribers in the Discord who also support us here, especially our Challenger Plus subscribers, Crotera, Flame Intruder, Storm Reaper, Wiggle, Fenrir, Neons, and Street Soul. If you guys are interested, you guys can check out the Discord to get access to insider perks and information, as well as some cool role perks just added in the Discord. A little bit of flair, a little bit of style. So if you guys are interested in supporting Nemesis in that way, you guys can get some cool perks while supporting Nemesis as well. So with that being said, I think that's just gonna wrap it up here for the night. Ventus, once again, thanks for showing out here. We've had some great matches, and now we're heading into what's coming up soon is gonna be the All-Star Week, which is always kind of exciting, coming up here very shortly.
Yeah, I mean, I'm super excited to see, who's going to get nominated for these All-Star appearances and who's going to kind of separate themselves and show that they belong in this All-Star game, as well as, seeing those East versus West matchups. Those are all super fun. Maybe I'll play in one of those, but, I'm a sub, so I don't usually, get to endorse or enjoy, those. But, if my wink wink GM wants to let me play for him in the GM showdown, I would appreciate that one. But for now, I mean, I'm gonna plug the podcast again, but we'll probably talk about a lot of these stuff on the Nemesis podcast. Especially, this one's probably gonna be coming out either Friday or Saturday this week for another podcast session. So, make sure you stay tuned for that one. I believe it's going to be on the Nemesis After Dark channel as well. We're going to talk probably a lot about, these matches, some interesting matches, and possibly getting into some preliminary all-star nominations that we might have for different leagues. So, if you guys want to hear that or want to listen to me, yap for another hour, on your own time, I would definitely say go look out and watch the podcast.
Yeah, definitely. Podcast should be coming back this weekend, and I'm sure we'll see Ventus and the rest of the fellas there, and I'm sure we'll probably see Ventus coming back next week, and hopefully heading into the All Stars in the booth at least. Maybe not on the pitch, but maybe in the booth for Ventus here. And well, hey, I'd love to see you on the pitch, but we'll see how it works out. But maybe we could see you in the booth at the very least. But yeah, folks, that's gonna wrap it up for tonight's action. We will be back on Monday, I believe. Here, should probably fact check that before I start making things up here. But yeah, we should be back. Yeah, we will be back on Monday this upcoming week, the last week before the All Stars. All-Star voting is coming tomorrow, so keep your eyes peeled for All-Star voting coming out tomorrow. And then yeah, one more week until the All-Star matches, so it'll be a lot of excitement, a lot of stuff to be determined. So with that being said, folks, we're heading out of here. It's been a great stream. Thank you all very much for watching, and we will talk to you guys later.